Chapter 930. For an ordinary Shikigami to be played by Abe Haruko like this, it is truly amazing. In the end, she is the most powerful onmyoji of the Abe family. Li Fan has tasted her power. However, Li Fan is a martial artist. No matter how powerful this ghost samurai is, it is impossible for him to keep suppressing him. When the ghost samurai is crazily swinging its blade, the flying lion goddess suddenly grabs a flaw in the opponent. She wrapped her leg with true energy and kicked the opponent's calf, causing the ghost samurai to fall forward. The flying lion goddess raises her shield vertically and hits the ghost samurai's face, causing it to fly backward. The flying lion goddess takes a step forward and catches up to the ghost samurai who is falling backward. She slashes towards its waist, wanting to cut it into two. But at this moment, something seems to have grabbed the ghost samurai and pulled it back, standing in front of Abe Haruko. As expected of a grand onmyoji, you are indeed powerful. Li Fan could not help but clap his hands. The flying lion goddess stands quietly at the side, holding her sword and shield. You are not bad either. Abe Haruko looks at Li Fan, should also be more serious. With that, Abe Haruko stretches out her right hand and takes off a ring on her left hand. Abe Haruko's pupils constricts. This ring is a seal, specially used to seal a powerful Shikigami. Now that her sister has taken off her ring, it means that this Chinese man in front of her has the ability to fight against her. How many years has it been since her sister has taken off her ring? Shikigami. Abe Haruko's left hand aims at Li Fan, Demon Blade Muramasa. A red blade suddenly flies out from her palm and instantly arrives in front of Li Fan. The flying lion goddess immediately raises her holy sword, aiming at the trajectory of the blade, and raises it. However, the Demon Blade Muramasa seems to have a life of its own. It suddenly draws an arc in the air and once again shoots towards Li Fan. The flying lion goddess's figure appears beside Li Fan in time and slaps towards the Muramasa with a crane hand. But the Muramasa dodged the flying lion goddess's hand again and stabbed toward the back of Li Fan's head. The flying lion goddess stood guard beside Li Fan. She used her crane hand again, but missed again. The Demon Blade Muramasa was nimble and more annoying than a mosquito or a fly. The most important thing was that the ghost warrior moved again. Covered in flames, it walked towards Li Fan. This Abe Haruko was actually able to control two Shikigami at the same time. However, at this moment, the great god of war suddenly appeared behind Li Fan. It's just two spirit-branded retainers, I have them too. The great war god grabbed the flying demon blade Muramasa. At the same time, the flying lion war god brandished the holy sword and repelled the ghost warrior. The Muramasa was a demonic blade that had killed countless people. It suddenly erupted with an intense evil aura as it struck the great war god's palm and flew back. The great war god disappeared again. Li Fan stood there with his arms crossed. The great god of war also looked like a spirit-branded Shikigami. To outsiders, there was nothing wrong with him. This Chinese also has two spirit-branded Shikigami. So powerful. I didn't expect China to have such a talent. But even so, he's still not a match for the Grand Yin-Yang Master, everyone discussed animatedly, and Abe Haruko looked at Li Fan again. Interesting. Abe Haruko seemed to be a little excited. She stood there and suddenly began to dance. Li Fan thought that she was going to dance a war ritual dance, but he didn't expect her to dance a PPAP. Li Fan was dumbfounded, but the surrounding media became excited. It's PPAP. If we record this scene, I guarantee it will be popular. I've finally seen the original version. What did the original version mean? Could it be that Abe Haruko was the one who started the dance? Abe Haruko suddenly clenched her hands together. The demon blade Muramasa flipped in the air and landed in the hands of the ghost warrior. Swish! The ghost warrior suddenly slashed vertically. A black crescent saber light instantly slashed towards Li Fan across the air, with a strong hostility on it. Li Fan frowned. So this woman knew body fusion. He didn't retreat and continued to cover the flying lion goddess with his true energy. Holy shield defense. The flying lion goddess smashed her shield on the ground, and a golden holy shield appeared, blocking the ghost warrior's blade. Pfft. However, the blade aura was wrapped in evil aura and was too sharp. It actually tore apart the holy shield and chopped off one of the flying lion goddess's arms. Then, it rushed towards Li Fan. The flying lion goddess grabbed Li Fan with her other hand and pulled him to the side. The crescent blade aura shattered the floor of the dojo and flew out. It broke through the wall behind it and directly shot into the air. Li Fan's hand touched the flying lion goddess's shoulder. Her arm was slowly growing back. You have to be careful. The demon blade's blade aura can eat people. Abe Haruko's cold voice rang in Li Fan's ears. It's quite powerful. Just as Li Fan nodded his head, the ghost warrior suddenly appeared in front of him and slashed down at Li Fan's head. However, the flying lion goddess's hands were wrapped in true energy. She directly extended her hands and hugged the ghost warrior's waist. Then, her entire body fell backwards. Boom! The ghost warrior's body heavily smashed onto the ground of the dojo. Its body was smashed into pieces. These pieces of armor flew up and reformed into the ghost warrior in the air, holding the red demon blade Muramasa. Your Shikigami is very agile. Abe Haruko said, it's just that its strength is too weak. Don't speak too early. Li Fan spat out a mouthful of turbid air. Just now was just a warm-up. With that, he placed his palm on the flying lion goddess's body. Reverse Dragontoad's absorption of water. Li Fan poured the true energy in his body into the flying lion goddess's body. The flying lion goddess suddenly raised her head and let out a silent roar towards the sky. True energy exploded in all directions. Her golden armor emitted a dazzling golden light. A ripple spread out, and the ghost warrior's armor was once again smashed into pieces, scattering on the ground. It's useless, the ghost warrior can reassemble infinitely. Before Abe Haruko could finish her words, she frowned. A pair of golden wings suddenly popped out from the flying lion goddess's back and flapped. Her battle prowess seemed to have increased by several times, bringing with it a powerful pressure. This. How did she do it? Abe Haruko did not understand. If they, yin-yang masters, wanted to strengthen their Shikigami, they had to perform a long and stinky war dance. But how did that Chinese person do it? With just a pat of his hand, he strengthened the Shikigami to such an extent. However, taking advantage of the time when the two of them were standing in a straight line, the ghost warrior wielded the demon blade and threw out a crescent blade aura towards them. This time, the flying lion goddess did not use her shield. Instead, she swept out the holy sword in her hand that was emitting a golden light. Chapter 931. The flying lion goddess had evolved two golden wings, not to fly, but to represent that her strength had reached a certain level. Li Fan felt that it was different from those who cultivated innate qi. Those who cultivated innate qi had a dantian in their body, which could store innate qi. But if it was someone else, if they wanted to store such a huge amount of energy, their body would not be able to hold it. Then where would the extra energy be stored? It would be in the wings. According to Western legends, the more powerful the angel, the more wings they had. Li Fan pondered, was it also because of this reason? Under the impact of his power, the flying lion goddess's strength suddenly rose to the strength of a generation's grandmaster. She originally had the strength of about 3 to 4 dragons, and with his infusion, she suddenly had the strength of 10 dragons. The strength of 10 dragons, this was the level of a generation's grandmaster. But because her realm could not keep up, she could not be called a generation's grandmaster. Such a huge amount of power allowed the flying lion goddess to evolve a pair of wings to store power. Although such wings looked very cool, Li Fan did not like it. If she had wings, it would be too inconvenient to fight. For martial artists like them, wings and whatnot were just burdens. But the flying lion goddess had the golden wings, and her combat power had indeed soared. With a horizontal slash, she actually forcefully tore the ghost warrior's black crescent into pieces. After that, she raised the golden holy sword in her right hand, and the sword lit up with a golden light. A huge golden sword suddenly descended from the sky and slashed the ghost warrior's body, tearing the ghost warrior into pieces. The huge combat power displayed by the flying lion goddess shocked everyone. Heavens! Is this really a god-tier Shikigami? Too strong. Can our leaders still defeat Huaxiao's Li Fan? I don't know. It seems unlikely. The surrounding yin-yang masters all started to discuss in low voices, discussing what was going on. Abe Xiroshi was a little angry and scolded. All of you, shut up, what nonsense are you talking about? Seeing that Abe Xiroshi was angry, these yin-yang masters stopped their discussion. Abe Xiroshi's position in the yin-yang family was not low, and everyone was also very afraid of her. And Li Fan's flying lion goddess was indeed standing there, her body flickering with golden light, showing a different style. The surrounding media kept snapping photos. This kind of news would definitely be very explosive if it was released. But one reporter was very calm. He turned off his camera. Why aren't you filming? Don't you want big news? The colleague beside him asked. Are you guys stupid? If Li Fan wins, this news will never be published. The reporter's words woke up the people around them. The surrounding reporters looked at each other and put down their cameras. At this time, Abe Haruko was still calm. I didn't expect you to have a god-ranked spirit-branded retainer. Abe Haruko looked at the winged lion goddess who was flapping her wings and said slowly, since that's the case, I don't need to hide my strength anymore. As Abe Haruko spoke, she exposed her right shoulder, causing the surrounding reporters to drool. The head of the Abe family was a beauty. Although she was in her 30s, she took good care of herself. She was bare-shouldered and half of her breasts were exposed. That kind of energy was too lethal to men. Even Li Fan couldn't help but take a few more glances. Yin-yang, through the heavens. Abe Haruko stretched out her right hand, and the ghost samurai immediately flew over. The armor began to shrink and condense. Very quickly, it condensed into a vambrace and draped over her right arm. At the same time, the scarlet Muramesa also fell into her palm and was held by her. Oh! Li Fan was a little surprised. Although the spirit-branded retainer was powerful, its mobility could be controlled. This was its biggest weakness. But if the spirit-branded retainer and the human were to combine, there would be no such weakness. Furthermore, after being possessed by the spirit-branded retainer, this woman's body seemed to have been strengthened. Right now, she should have the combat power of a spirit-branded retainer. Your death is here. Abe Haruko's voice was ice-cold. Her entire body seemed to have entered a strange state. Go. Li Fan pointed his finger. The winged lion goddess immediately flapped her wings and instantly appeared in front of Abe Haruko. The winged lion goddess slashed at Abe Haruko with her holy sword, but Abe Haruko's left hand flicked the winged lion goddess' forehead. Bam! The winged lion goddess body was bounced back a step, and Abe Haruko's tachi followed the winged lion goddess and stabbed at her throat. The winged lion goddess raised her holy sword and used charming gentle sword to deflect the opponent's tachi. Then, she kicked at the opponent's lower abdomen. Abe Haruko's palm pushed the winged lion goddess calf away, then she turned around and slashed at the winged lion goddess. The winged lion goddess raised her shield and pushed it up, deflecting the tachi. Then, she used her shoulder to block. Abe Haruko's body leaned to the side and her knee landed heavily on the winged lion goddess' ribs. Then, she raised her tachi and slashed downwards. The winged lion goddess raised her holy sword again. The charming gentle sword appeared and deflected Abe Haruko's tachi. The winged lion goddess possessed Li Fan's techniques. Coupled with her own combat power, she was almost equivalent to a grandmaster. Before Abe Haruko could react, the winged lion goddess threw her shield and slapped Abe Haruko's chest. Abe Haruko's chest was quite soft. Even though she was using the winged lion goddess body, she could still feel it. Abe Haruko's body slid 3 meters away and stabbed the tachi into the ground. Only then did she stabilize her body. The winged lion goddess appeared in front of her again. Just as Abe Haruko was about to counterattack, the winged lion goddess flapped her wings. A gust of wind blew out, and Abe Haruko subconsciously covered her eyes. At this moment, the winged lion goddess made her move again. Chilin palm. The winged lion goddess palm pressed over. In a hurry, Abe Haruko raised her tachi to block it. Clang! The demon blade broke into 2. Abe Haruko was once again sent flying and smashed into a wall. Everyone, you are still lacking a bit. Li Fan smiled, looks like I have passed the 8 trials. You are thinking too much. I have not lost yet. Abe Haruko blasted away the rubble on her body and stood up. She held the demon blade and half squatted on the ground, as though she was about to draw the blade. Li Fan felt a sense of pressure, and Abe Haruko suddenly used the blade drawing technique. Li Fan subconsciously controlled the winged lion goddess to lower her sacred shield and block in front of her. Pooh! The sacred shield broke into 2, and the winged lion goddess' right leg was cut off. She half knelt on the ground and used the sacred sword to support her body. This invisible blade drawing technique. Li Fan broke out in cold sweat. This is a little crazy. What should I do now? Chapter 932. Li Fan frowned. This was going to be troublesome. This woman was actually using the blade drawing technique. This technique was extremely powerful. One couldn't even see the trajectory of the sword aura. As long as the opponent drew the blade, one side would be injured. Especially when the opponent was using the Muramasa demon blade. The sharpness was so strong that even the holy shield couldn't block it. After cutting off the flying lion goddess leg, Abe Haruko squatted down again and held the demon blade again. Her blade drawing technique was too powerful. It was indeed difficult to block it. But Li Fan had already thought of a countermeasure. Abe Haruko suddenly drew her blade. The moment she moved her shoulder, Li Fan made the flying lion goddess fly into the air. Bang! A blade mark was left on the wall behind. Sunlight shone through the gap. The flying lion goddess leg was slowly recovering. Abe Haruko had already given up on attacking the flying lion goddess. Instead, she turned her attention to Li Fan. Abe Haruko had already displayed the strength of a grandmaster. If she managed to cut him, Li Fan wouldn't have it easy. But Li Fan still stood there. He decided to take the initiative to attack. The best defense was offense. The flying lion goddess was in midair. She aimed at Abe Haruko and spat out a golden mouth cannon. The light instantly hit Abe Haruko's body, but Abe Haruko raised her katana and blocked it. The flying lion goddess raised her holy sword again. A huge golden sword descended from the sky and slashed at Abe Haruko's head. Abe Haruko drew her blade and cut the falling holy sword into two. Abe Haruko's blade seemed to be able to cut through anything. It was going to be difficult to defeat Abe Haruko. But the flying lion goddess had been fighting with Abe Haruko with her holy sword. Abe Haruko couldn't find the time to attack Li Fan. Even Li Fan was a little afraid of Abe Haruko's blade drawing technique. Blade cutting water. Abe Haruko suddenly drew her blade. The flying lion goddess body froze for a moment. It was as if time had been sucked out. This was also one of the demon blade's abilities. Taking advantage of the moment when the flying lion goddess froze, Abe Haruko grabbed the demon blade and aimed it at Li Fan again. Fuck, Li Fan felt a chill run down his spine. Damn it, am I going to die this time? But at this moment, Abe Haruko suddenly coughed up a mouthful of blood. She loosened her grip on the saber and half knelt on the ground. Her fluttering hair drooped down. Oh no, the elder's illness is acting up. Abe Chichi was shocked. She immediately shouted to the people around her, everyone, the heaven illuminating array. As soon as Abe's voice fell, all the onmyojis in the surroundings moved and surrounded Li Fan. Each of them held a charm in their hands. All media, I'm sorry, but this is the time to reject interviews. Abe said as she pinched a charm in her hand and then slapped it on the ground. A strong impact was felt, and all the media reporters were sent flying out of the training hall uncontrollably. After they left, the door of the training hall was tightly shut with a bang, blocking the reporters outside. Baka, let us in. Bastard. Why won't you let us watch? The reporters were all angry, but the door seemed to be sealed. No matter how they tried, they couldn't open it. Abe Chichi had indeed cast a barrier on this training hall. Outsiders couldn't enter, and only the onmyojis could move freely. What, after completing the 8th stage, you want to fight as a group? Li Fan put his hands in his pockets, and the flying lion goddess stood beside him. Our elder's condition isn't good, so it doesn't count as your victory. So, we will replace her as the 8th stage. Abe Chichi looked at Li Fan and winked at him. Mr. Li is such a magnanimous person, you should understand us, right? And I will forgive you after I beat you guys up. Li Fan said as he placed his hand on the flying lion goddess. Dragon Toad's absorption. The energy that was released to the flying lion goddess was absorbed back into his body. The flying lion goddess slowly disappeared, and Li Fan stretched his back. This feels much better. I can finally beat you bunch of idiots with my own hands. Don't look down on us onmyojis. Abe Chichi said as she stretched out a finger and pointed at Li Fan. A single spark makes a prairie fire. Dozens of onmyojis immediately took out their talismans and released the fireball technique at Li Fan. For a moment, hundreds of fireballs pierced through the air, drew an arc, and shot towards Li Fan. This scene was very spectacular, like a night of fireworks. But Li Fan just stood there with his hands in his pockets. He didn't seem to make any movements, but the fireball that fell in front of him suddenly changed direction, bounced to the side, and exploded on the surrounding buildings. Only Abe Chichi faintly saw that it wasn't that Li Fan didn't make any movements, but that he quickly used the crane hand. But his speed was too fast, and ordinary people couldn't even see his movements, as if he didn't do anything. This Li Fan is so scary. Release the spider. Under Abe Chichi's command, all the 2 Magatama onmyojis released their spider Shikigami. Their spider Shikigami Li Fan had seen before, and each of them was as big as a wash basin. Now, about 20 of them were released, and they crawled towards Li Fan in a densely packed manner, which was a little scary. Li Fan smiled. He took a step forward, but this step directly crossed a distance of more than 10 meters, and he instantly stood behind the group of spiders. And all the spiders flew up, and at the same time, they were electrocuted into charcoal, and slowly vaporized in the air. In the blink of an eye, Li Fan consecutively kicked more than 20 times, and these spiders were all sent flying. Li Fan's current state was abnormally good. He had already released the power of the Dragon Divine General, and he didn't intend to show any mercy. Today, the ape family will disappear. Li Fan threw out such a sentence. How arrogant! Abe Jichi scolded, and in the next second, Li Fan stepped on the cloud ladder, and suddenly jumped into the air, hanging upside down 100 meters above their heads. His left palm was folded at his waist, and a powerful true chi was quickly condensing. Oh no! Abe Jichi seemed to have sensed something, and she hurriedly ordered the surrounding onmyoges to release a powerful barrier together. Dragon King Seal. Li Fan's palm slammed down, and the ground trembled heavily. The terrifying palm pressure was blocked by the barrier maintained by the hundreds of onmyoges. But some onmyoges obviously couldn't bear it anymore, and they vomited blood and knelt on the ground. Abe Jichi helped them up, and said in their ears, "Everyone, don't be afraid, bring out our courage and strength. This Huaxia person is the devil that we have been training ourselves to face. We can't let him destroy our great city, our country." Chapter 933. Abe Haruko was born into a yin-yang master family. Ever since she was born, she had always been shrouded in her sister's halo. No, she did not live under her sister's halo at all, but in the shadows outside of it. Her sister had received the family's expectations and praise since she was young, but she did not care about it. Instead, she ruined the family's good intentions. Her sister had told her that she did not want to be a yin-yang master at all. She wanted to learn music and play the cello in Vienna. Her sister was really wasting natural resources. If only she had her sister's talent. But why did the demon blade Muramasa choose her sister as its host? If only she had been chosen. Even if her life force was continuously sucked away by the demon blade, it would be fine. If her sister did not exist, she would be the head of the family. Abe Haruko looked at her half-kneeling sister, and a trace of viciousness flashed in her eyes. She should be the grand yin-yang master of the yin-yang school. She kept helping up her fallen companions, giving them comfort and support. However, more and more people fell. They could not withstand the impact of that Chinese man. At this moment, Abe Haruko suddenly stood up. She did not say anything, but with blood at the corner of her mouth, she stretched out her left hand and released a powerful barrier towards the sky. With the addition of Abe Haruko's powerful spiritual power, the barrier immediately became much stronger. The family leader has stood up. She is fighting with us. We cannot lose. For the yin-yang master family. The yin-yang masters who were still dispirited just now seemed to be encouraged, and their spirits were all lifted. These yin-yang masters all used their strength to add bricks and tiles to the barrier. Abe Haruko was extremely jealous. She had put in so much effort, but her sister only stood up and released a spell, and the surrounding yin-yang masters seemed to have eaten a great tonic. She was not convinced. Li Fan had finished releasing the Dragon King seal, and he returned to the ground. Looking at the barrier that was still struggling, Li Fan could not help but admire it. These yin-yang masters were very tenacious. He's coming down, use the soul-binding spell. Abe Haruko decisively gave the command. Instantly, all the onmyoges pointed their fingers at Li Fan. A chain of light slowly appeared on Li Fan's body, directly locking his arms and legs, pinning him to the ground. Huaxia man, no matter how powerful you are, you shouldn't have come alone to fight against our onmyoji clan. Abe Zigo sneers, the great onmyoji family protects the entire Tokyo, even the entire Japan. Not to mention you, even if Yamada no Orochi is resurrected, we can also suppress it. Elder sister, go and kill this person. He's alone. It's not fair. However, Abe Haruko said, I do want his life, but only in a one-on-one fight. Pedantic. Abe Zigo was so angry. She took a bow and arrow from the shelf next to her and poured her Reiki into it. The bow and arrow burned with blue flame. Abe Tomoko pulled her bow and aimed at Li Fan. Die! A blue arrow pierced through the air and instantly appeared in front of Li Fan. Ha! Li Fan let out a loud shout, a beautiful Buddhist lion's roar. His true chi rushed out and shattered the arrow. A lot of onmyoges in front of him were also affected and directly flew out. The spirit-binding curse on his body also weakened a bit. Li Fan was about to break free from the chain. However, more onmyoges arrived and joined the camp that imprisoned Li Fan. The entire Abe family, 300 onmyoges, were all here. They kept chanting and finally, the spirit-binding curse became even stronger. Those blue chains seemed to have become real. Li Fan frowned and tried to move his arm, but found that these chains were extremely strong and he couldn't break free at all. I really didn't expect that you can still resist in this situation. Abe Zigo sneered, but it ends here. It's you who ends here. A figure unknowingly stood behind Abe Zigo, and at the same time, a hand knife pierced into Abe Zigo's throat. A paper doll shattered, and Abe Zigo knelt on the side, cold sweat dripping from her forehead. If not for the paper doll protecting her once, she would have died. Jiang Yi took the opportunity to stand behind Abe Haruko, and 4 fingers were on her throat. If you don't let go of my master, she will die. When the two sides started fighting, Jiang Yi secretly hid. She had been waiting for this moment. Damn it! Abe Zigo cursed. All the onmyoges saw that everyone had become hostages, and the spiritual power in their hands weakened a bit. Continue to cast the spirit-binding curse. Abe Zigo roared, but Jiang Yi reminded her, her paper doll is here. Jiang Ye's other hand unknowingly took away Abe Haruko's protective paper doll. My hand will tear her throat, she will die without a doubt. The situation seemed to have become a bit bad. Jiang Yi almost didn't spend much effort to reverse the situation. Abe Zigo clenched her fist tightly. Even if she wanted Abe Haruko to die, the other onmyoges in the family would not agree. But at this time, Li Fan spoke. Jiang Yi, come back. Master. Jiang Yi was a little surprised. Through the crowd, she looked at her master who was tied up there. Come back. Li Fan said again. Although his voice was very soft, it seemed to resound in Jiang Ye's ears, like thunder. I said, this time, I want to win fair and square. Sometimes, Master, is really stubborn. But I am addicted to Master's charm. Yes, Master. Jiang Yi let go of Abe Haruko. She directly used her qigong and used to swallow 3 times to avoid the fireballs of the onmyoges. She landed behind Li Fan and half knelt in front of Li Fan. Onmyoges, your name. My name is Li Fan, China's top escort, known as the Little Overlord. Today, I am here to destroy you. With that, all the pores on Li Fan's body instantly closed. His skin turned slightly red. White steam came out of his body and rolled into the air. Li Fan's body suddenly burst out with a dazzling golden light. This golden light quickly condensed into the shape of a ring, hanging behind Li Fan. This ring was completely condensed from energy. At this time, the energy in Li Fan's body was too enormous, and even he couldn't bear it. Thus, he sent a portion of the excess energy out through an open pore, condensing it into this ring. It was better to have a ring than two wings. The current fan was like a god that descended from the heavens. And a powerful wave of air spread out in an instant. Even Jiang Yi was sent flying. Many onmyoges were also shaken by the impact. Abe Zigo's forehead was covered in cold sweat. Chapter 934. What a huge power! Abe Haruko was shocked, but she was full of confidence in the soul-binding curse cast by her family. How could there be a problem with the soul-binding curse cast by 300 onmyoges? Stop struggling. You can't win. Abe Haruko shouted at Li Fan. But immediately, she couldn't speak. 3 moves. Li Fan stretched out 3 fingers. Under the dumbfounded gazes of the onmyoges, Li Fan broke the chains bit by bit, then stretched out his right palm, facing the onmyoges in front of him. Ursa Major Seal. A huge palm pressure instantly slapped over. The 300 onmyoges were all sent flying by Li Fan's palm pressure. Many onmyoges were in front, and their bodies were directly torn into pieces by the palm pressure. How is this palm pressure? It's clearly a powerful meat grinder. Looking at the ground full of minced meat, Abe Haruko knelt on the ground. Her internal organs were also injured, and there was blood at the corner of her mouth. She looked at Li Fan in disbelief. Is he possessed by Yamada no Orochi? Why is he so strong? Abe Haruko immediately squatted down, hung the tachi on her waist, and prepared to use the sword drawing technique. But Li Fan pulled at Abe Haruko. Dragon Toad Absorption. The strong pulling force pulled Abe Haruko, causing her to stagger forward, and directly broke her sword drawing technique. Li Fan took a step forward and punched through the air. The second move. Hitting the tiger through the air. Abe Haruko's body was directly hit out, smashing the wall behind her, tearing the barrier, and falling into the courtyard. One more move. Li Fan opened his hands, and powerful true chi gathered on his hands. 7 Brilliance Absolute Kill, 10 Great Wisdom King. Li Fan was ready to bury all the onmyoges, and let them, along with this courtyard, completely disappear in history. This is Li Fan's revenge. First the Abe family, then the Takeda family, and then the Kaga family. This time, Li Fan's purpose was to destroy the 3 great families of the island. Brat, how dare you! However, just as Li Fan was gathering his power, a figure wearing a kimono suddenly appeared in front of him. His body was covered in blue spiritual light, and he held a golden sword in his hand. He slashed at Li Fan's head. Li Fan immediately pushed out the power in his palms and collided with the sword. Boom! A formless shockwave blasted out, turning into a ring that shattered all the surrounding objects. As for Li Fan, he was sent sliding 3 meters away. The ring on his back slowly disappeared and he spat out a mouthful of blood. The time to close his pores was up, and he had been beaten back to his original form. Opposite him stood an old man with white hair and a ruddy complexion, glaring angrily at Li Fan. Baka! The old man first cursed in Japanese, then switched to Chinese, and reprimanded Li Fan. Chinaman, you dare to come to my Yamato nation's territory and cause trouble. I have been in seclusion for 30 years, and today, I will use the Kusanagi sword to kill you. Great-grandfather, you have come out of seclusion. When Abe saw the old man, she was pleasantly surprised. Her great-grandfather's name was Abe Yoshio, and he was a true grand onmyoji. It was said that during World War II, he had personally set foot on China's soil. However, at that time, he had fought with a group of experts from China, and in the end, he was defeated and returned to Tokyo. Now that her great-grandfather had been in seclusion for so many years, his yin-yang technique had long reached a terrifying state. In addition to the god-ranked Shikigami and the powerful Kusanagi sword, this Chinaman would definitely be defeated by his hands. No, he would die here. Li Fan looked at the old man in front of him, and a red light flashed in his eyes. His heart started to beat faster, as if something was about to rush out. The other party was a true Grandmaster level expert. Whether it was strength or realm, they were all above this level. Master. Jiang Yi supported Li Fan, but was gently pushed away by Li Fan. You old man, I see that you are not young anymore. You have lived all these years in vain, right? Li Fan scolded without any trace of politeness. A mere Chinaman martial artist dares to insult me. I think you don't even want your soul anymore. Abe Yoshio snorted coldly, his eyes were filled with coldness as he looked at Li Fan, prepared to have your soul scattered. Did I say anything wrong? You have trained for so many years, but today, you brought your entire family to bully a 20-year-old kid like me. Li Fan laughed out loud, this is too funny. Your Abe family is simply too powerful. If this were to spread out, it would definitely be especially glorious. Do you think that by saying such words, I will let you go? Abe Yoshio laughed coldly, stop dreaming. Today, you must die here. You old man, you seem to be quite strong. Do you dare to make a bet with me? Li Fan must think of a way to leave this place first. What bet? Li Fan is Abe Yoshio's prey. He will not be able to escape from the palm of his hand. Abe Yoshio is not in a hurry to kill him. He might as well toy with his prey first. You and I bet on a 10-day agreement. Li Fan said, I have fought so many battles in a row and am somewhat tired. If I rest for 10 days, I will be able to defeat you. 10 days. Defeat me? Little doll, are you dreaming? Abe Yoshio sneered. You don't dare. Or are you afraid that I will run away? The Abe family can block the traffic in Jingdong at will. You won't be able to escape even if you have wings. Abe Yoshio immediately shouted, but was glared at by Abe Yoshio. She trembled in fear and kneeled to the side, not daring to make a sound. Although I don't know what you are planning in your stomach, but in 10 days, you will not be able to defeat me. Abe Yoshio said, not to mention 10 days, even if it is 100 days or 1,000 days, in my eyes, you are still just an ant. Don't say those useless things. Do you dare to make the bet? Fine, I will give you 10 days. Abe Yoshio was too confident in his own strength. The reason he came out of seclusion this time was not only because he sensed the crisis of the Abe family, but also because he planned to set foot on the mainland of China again. He wanted to use his absolute strength to defeat those stupid Shina warriors. That piece of fertile land belonged to His Majesty the Great Emperor. 10 days later, let's meet here. Abe Yoshio pointed at the messy dojo under his feet. If you don't dare to come, I will personally kill you. Brat, enjoy these 10 days. With that, Abe Yoshio waved his hand, and a strange force hit Li Fan's body, knocking him and Jiang Yi out of the courtyard. Great-grandfather. Abe Haruko wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. 10 days later, let me go. You better recuperate. Abe Yoshio glanced at the new patriarch. Not bad, the Muramasa is willing to choose you, which proves that you are indeed outstanding. But you are too weak to be suppressed by the Muramasa. Bring out the domineering Abe family and subdue this demon blade. Hi! Chapter 935. Master, are you planning to invite Imperial Consort Zhou over? After returning to the hotel, Jiang Yi saw that Li Fan had finally come out of the room and hurriedly went forward to ask. Li Fan had just gone to treat his injuries. With the help of the rejuvenation pill, his injuries were already more or less healed. To deal with an old monster like Abe Yangfu, only a more powerful monster could do it, right? Xia Ho and Chen Junhua also hurriedly surrounded him. Xia Ho checked Li Fan's body in various ways, afraid that he had any residual injuries. Imperial Consort Show. Li Fan shook his head. She's still in seclusion and can't be contacted. Furthermore, I don't intend to invite her over. I'm my own opponent, why would I need her help? But that Abe Yangfu is too terrifying. His strength is not on the same level as us. He's a Grandmaster level expert. Li Fan said, there's still a world of difference between a true Grandmaster and the power I created by closing my pores. A Grandmaster is actually so strong. Master, do you have any other methods? Can we defeat him in 10 days? No. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. Everyone in the room was dumbfounded. It's just a delaying tactic. 10 days is better than nothing. Who knows, in these 10 days, we might be able to create a miracle. Li Fan smiled. This optimistic attitude made Xia Ho collapse first. If we lose, we'll lose our lives. Xia Ho reminded Li Fan, junior brother, why don't we return to China? If we break out of the encirclement together, we can definitely escape back to China. When we reach China, with Imperial Consort Zhou around, that Abe Yangfu won't dare to act rashly. Furthermore, there are many experts in China, so they won't let a Japanese be so presumptuous. Junior sister, since when do I need other people's protection? Li Fan rejected Xia Ho's suggestion. Moreover, I brought Imperial Consort Zhou to the escort agency to watch over her and let her know her place, not to let her protect me. If I don't even have the ability to protect myself, how can I still be a martial artist? He instructed Chen Junhua. Junhua, protect this place for the next few days. I'm going to cultivate in seclusion and see if there's any breakthrough. All right. Chen Junhua couldn't provide any other help at this time. He could only follow Li Fan's instructions and protect the women here. Jiang Yi, train well these few days. Don't let your skills fall behind. You are not allowed to get close to the Abe family. Junhua, you have to watch over her. Little junior brother, what should I do then? Xian hurriedly asked. Oh, I'm not used to the food here. Little senior sister, please cook for us. Xia Ho was speechless. Li Fan waved his hand. Then I'll go into seclusion first. If there's nothing urgent, don't enter my seclusion room. After Li Fan finished speaking, he returned to his room and sat cross-legged on the bed. Although he appeared very optimistic in front of everyone, he was actually not very confident. Delaying for 10 days was just a delaying tactic. If a martial artist wanted to become strong, how could it be done in 10 days? For him, Li Fan to improve to this level in 2 years, it was already because of all kinds of luck and cheats. Just as Li Fan was in seclusion, Mr. Yang suddenly stood beside his bed, holding onto his cane. He pointed to the bright night scene outside. Little friend, have you forgotten? This is Tokyo, the place of the Japanese. Mr. Yang reminded Li Fan, as long as you activate your ability and absorb the life force of the people in this city, you will have enough strength to kill that old Japanese. No, even if it's the Japanese, not everyone is bad. Li Fan flatly rejected Mr. Yang's words, I can't do such a heartless thing. I didn't ask you to kill them either. Mr. Yang rolled his eyes and began to induce Li Fan again, as long as you absorb a bit of life force from each of them, they might only lose a year or 2 of their lifespan. But with so many people, it's enough for you to increase your strength by a lot. Hearing this, Li Fan slightly hesitated. It's only a year or 2, it won't have much of an impact on them. In any case, they are all people from other countries. Don't forget, these people have invaded our country before. Mr. Yang's voice seemed to ring in Li Fan's heart. Don't hesitate, otherwise, do you still have a way to defeat that old Japanese? Mr. Yang asked, if you die, then so be it. But think about it, you still have Jiang Yi, Xia Ho, and Chen Junhua by your side. Do you think that after you die, they will still be able to survive? That old Japanese, he will definitely kill them all one by one. Li Fan, you confidently brought them to the Japanese, but you can't protect them. What kind of martial artist are you? You're not even a fart. Enough. Li Fan berated, and Mr. Yang's body slowly disappeared. He walked to the window and pushed it open. The bustling sound of the traffic outside immediately poured into Li Fan's ears. Just absorbing a bit of life force is indeed not a problem. Li Fan jumped out of the window, and then using Qigong, he leaped up and landed on the rooftop. This king's building is the tallest building in Jingdong. Standing here, one can overlook the entire Jingdong city. Night had long fallen, and a bright moon hung high in the sky. The darkness seemed to not dare to approach the city, but Li Fan felt that he was in even more terrifying darkness. In order to protect the people around him, even if he turned into a demon, Li Fan would still do it. Furthermore, just this once, just for this day, it's fine. He sat cross-legged on the rooftop, opened his mouth, and took a deep breath. Li Fan's strength has already entered a new level. He doesn't even need to switch to Star Luo Divine Art. Just by using the 7 Heroes Force's Dragon Toad's absorption of water, he can achieve the same effect. He took a deep breath, and the entire city seemed to be pulled by him. Waves of green energy slowly floated up from below, and from all directions, it gathered towards Li Fan and was sucked into his mouth. Li Fan's body burned with a green radiance. After all, this is an imitation of the Star Luo Divine Art. It can be said to be a devil art. Li Fan inhaled this life force, which is also energy, and immediately transformed it into a huge amount of true qi in his body. This true qi wandered through every inch of Li Fan's meridians, strengthening his strength little by little. Li Fan felt that he is becoming stronger, and the true qi in his dantian began to expand. Li Fan's pair of eyes also slightly turned green. Under the night sky, it looked somewhat strange. While absorbing the energy, Li Fan also felt an uncontrollable pleasure, filling his body, penetrating into his bone marrow, and deep into his soul. Too comfortable, really too comfortable, Li Fan felt as if he was excited. He couldn't help but open his arms and absorb the energy in front of him. Chapter 936. A day had passed. Xia Ho sent the food to Li Fan's room and found Li Fan sitting cross-legged on the bed with 5 clouds of white smoke coming out of his body. Little junior brother must be very serious in his cultivation. I can't make a sound lest I disturb him. Just as she thought so, Li Fan suddenly coughed twice. Little junior brother, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Xia Ho asked hurriedly. I'm fine. Li Fan hurriedly waved his hand. I inhaled too much exhaust gas. Ha. Ah. No, nothing. Li Fan felt guilty. Fuck, I almost told the truth. Little senior sister is a very amiable person. It's easy to accidentally say what's on your mind when talking to her. Are you really okay? Do you want me to find some cold medicine for you? It's okay, little senior sister, I'm going to continue my seclusion. Li Fan looked at his nose and heart as if he was going to continue his cultivation. Xia Ho didn't want to disturb him. She just looked at Li Fan worriedly before turning around and carefully closing the door for Li Fan. Jiang Yi sat outside Li Fan's door, meditating like a door god. Did your master make any movements last night? Xia Ho asked. Jiang Yi shook his head. Everything was normal. So strange. What's wrong? Chen Junhua was practicing swordsmanship in the living room. Seeing Xia Ho's worried expression, he subconsciously asked. Nothing. I just feel that little junior brother is weird. Xia Ho shook his head, hoping that it was just his imagination. Master will definitely be fine. There's nothing he can't do. Jiang Yi added. That's true, but in just 10 days. What can little junior brother do? A grandmaster of a generation. This realm was a peak that many martial fighters could not reach in their entire lives. Can little junior brother do it in 10 days? That's impossible. But when I went in today, I felt that little junior brother's aura was much stronger. Xia Ho still felt that there were some changes in Li Fan. See, I told you that master will be fine. Let's observe for 2 more days. Xia Yi was worried. If it doesn't work, I'll think of a way to return to China and ask Imperial concubine Zhou for help. Please don't go. Chen Junhua rejected Xia Ho's idea. I won't let you go back. How can you be like this? Aren't you worried about junior brother's safety? Xia Ho looked at Chen Junhua unhappily. Li Fan is Li Fan. The title of little tyrant is not for nothing. Chen Junhua reminded Xia Ho, his temper is there. If you call him an imperial consort Zhou comes, he might fight to the death with imperial consort Zhou. Xia Ho also knew Li Fan's temper. She had followed Li Fan for such a long time, so she naturally knew about it. Junior sister, I know you care about Li Fan, but he has his own thoughts. Please respect him. In this aspect, Chen Junhua was very similar to Li Fan. This is Li Fan's match, just leave it to him. Sigh. I don't care. Xia Ho took her bag and was about to go out. Junior sister, where are you going? To buy groceries, you idiot. Xia Yi rolled her eyes at Chen Junhua. Chen Junhua embarrassedly touched his nose. The hotel had a kitchen for guests. After Xia Ho bought groceries, she would usually cook there. She couldn't help Li Fan with his cultivation, so she could only cook something delicious for Li Fan. Bodhisattva. You must protect junior brother. Xia Ho had been praying for Li Fan, but Li Fan once again came to the rooftop. Another night fell. Although Li Fan had told him that he would only absorb it once, it was already nighttime. But after the first time, Li Fan couldn't control himself. The thrill of absorbing power surpassed everything else. He clenched his hands and stood on the rooftop, looking at the people below. These people are too small. For you, they are just ants. Mr. Yang stood beside Li Fan, pointed at the city below, and said to Li Fan. It is their honor to be able to provide you with power. Li Fan, this world is destined to surrender to you. There is no need to surrender. I just need power, a little power is enough. As Li Fan spoke, he opened his arms, opened his mouth, and took a deep breath. Green lights appeared in the city again, like stars in the night sky, and gathered towards Li Fan. Li Fan absorbed the energy from this city, and his body couldn't help but tremble slightly. That's great. That's really great. Li Fan almost forgot everything. He couldn't help but want to take a second breath. But at this time, a golden figure suddenly appeared in front of Li Fan, holding a shield, and slammed it on Li Fan's body. The flying lion goddess. She only appeared for a moment, bumped into Li Fan, and then disappeared from the rooftop. Humph. Mr. Yang coldly snorted and also disappeared. Li Fan opened his eyes again and looked at his hands in shock. It was too scary. I almost got addicted. Fortunately, the flying lion goddess suddenly appeared and woke me up. Li Fan thought for a while. He seemed to have absorbed energy for 5 days in a row. For a whole 5 days, he absorbed 1 or 2 years of lifespan every day. In other words, the average lifespan of the people in this city was reduced by 10 years. Li Fan looked at his hands in a daze. He felt that his hands were becoming demon claws. What was the difference between him and a monster? No, I can't continue like this. Li Fan stood on the rooftop and checked his internal strength. In just 5 days, he absorbed the power of a total of 10 dragons. However, this power was very messy. Although there were 10 dragons, he couldn't use them all. It was like a refining process. Li Fan had to get rid of unnecessary power and temper it into real useful power. Li Fan returned to his room and began to refine his true energy. These 10 dragons' true energy were refined by him into at least half a dragon's power. Li Fan was a person who strived for perfection. Since he was practicing, he must practice the best and use the purest true energy. However, he was still shocked in his heart. He could absorb the power of 10 dragons in 5 days. If it was a person who didn't pursue true energy, he could get the power of 60 dragons in a month in this city. Then he would change to another city and absorb for another month. After a year, this person would probably be invincible in the world. Even if the true energy wasn't pure enough, at least the amount was large. In less than a year, an extraordinary master would be born. How scary! Li Fan couldn't help but tremble. He even had the idea of continuing to go to the rooftop to absorb energy. It wouldn't take that long. As long as he stood there and kept absorbing, in one night, he could suck Jingdong into a dead city. Li Fan suddenly felt that he was very scary. Once he went crazy, Imperial Concubine Zhou was nothing. He was probably the scariest demon in the world. Chapter 937. For the next 5 days, Li Fan did not know how to break through his strength. His strength was stuck at 9.5 dragons. If he wanted to improve the remaining half dragons, it would be extremely difficult. If Li Fan closed his pores, he could instantly increase his energy by half, reaching the optimal strength of 14 dragons. However, it could only be done in less than a minute, and it was not even when he made a move. If he made a move, his energy would be consumed even faster. For example, he had made 3 moves today, but he could only maintain this state for less than half a minute. How could he defeat a real grandmaster in less than half a minute? Li Fan analyzed for a while. That old devil had about 15 dragons, or even higher strength. He might be able to reach around 18 dragons. Even if Imperial Concubine Zhou came, she might not be able to defeat him. After all, he did not allow Imperial Concubine Zhou to absorb other people's energy. If she was allowed to absorb as she pleased, and Imperial Concubine Zhou recovered her peak strength, then it should not be a problem to defeat the old Japanese. However, this was a battle that belonged to him. He had to think of a way to let him fight with the old Japanese in his normal state. And when he closed his pores, he could kill the old Japanese in a second. Li Fan was thinking about 2 directions. One was how to improve his combat power. The other was how to effectively use the time when the pores closed. The pores could be closed for 1 minute, but Li Fan felt that 1 minute was too long. He had been walking the path of killing the old Japanese. He felt that 10 seconds was more or less enough. Yes, 10 seconds was more or less enough. In this case, after he closed his pores, he should increase the efficiency of the energy in his body. He should compress the time to improve the effect of the energy. He should continue to double his energy. Within 10 seconds, he should be able to reach 18 to 19 dragons. Li Fan had a rough direction. He felt that he could implement it, and the success rate would be very high. However, such power did not seem to be enough to kill the old Japanese in a second. The other method was how to improve his combat power. He was now only a foot away from becoming a grandmaster of his generation. However, this 1 foot was like 1 foot in the sky and 1 foot on the ground, and the difference was like heaven and earth. If he were to rely on internal energy cultivation, he would have to train for at least 2 to 3 years before he could officially step into the realm of a generation's grandmaster. But was there any quick way to do it? Li Fan began to think hard. At this moment, the flying lion goddess appeared again. She stood beside Li Fan, put down her sword and shield, and knelt before Li Fan and performed a knight's salute. What do you mean? Li Fan was a little confused. Did the flying lion goddess have something to say to him? Li Fan looked at the flying lion goddess and scrutinized her perfect posture. Suddenly, he thought of something. He recalled Abe Haruko's appearance when the demon blade and demon samurai possessed her. Yeah. Li Fan clapped his hands. Why didn't I think of that earlier? He was pleasantly surprised. This was a method. Come on, let's give it a try. Li Fan said to the flying lion goddess, try and see how you confuse. The flying lion goddess looked at Li Fan in a daze. She was waiting for Li Fan's order. Come, fuse. Li Fan placed his hands on the flying lion goddess's shoulders and shouted. However, there was no movement. Fuck, Li Fan thought about it. It might not be intense enough. I'll stand on this side. You stand on the other side. Li Fan let the flying lion goddess stand on the other side of the room and said, come, let's run together. The two of them ran together and collided with each other in the middle of the room. Li Fan fell to the ground from the collision. His butt hurt. Oh my god, Li Fan rubbed his butt and stood up. This doesn't seem to work. Li Fan sat on the bed again and thought. The flying lion goddess walked over considerately and massaged Li Fan's shoulders. Li Fan thought, if this is really Murong-ing, wouldn't it be great if she massaged my shoulders and back? Ha ha ha. Fuck, why did I accidentally start fantasizing again? Li Fan held his chin and thought again. Jiang Yi and Xia Yan stood at the door. The two girls stuck their butts out and listened to the movements inside. Why is it so lively today? Xia Yan asked. Junior brother seems to be very excited. Maybe Master has made a breakthrough. Jiang Yi analyzed. He sounds quite happy. It must be so. I knew that junior brother would definitely be able to do it. Jiang Yi looked at Xia Yan with disdain. I'll go make something delicious to celebrate. I'll also buy some sake. I think junior brother likes to drink the sake here. Xia Yan said and turned to go out. Li Fan thought for the whole day. The next day, when Xia Yan brought him breakfast, he was still sitting on the bed in a daze. The existence of the flying lion goddess was a superpower materialized by Lin Luo's good person card. In other words, the flying lion goddess was also an existence of energy. However, this energy was materialized like Murong Ying's materialization. If the flying lion goddess could materialize again, maybe he could make its energy attached to him. That's right. Li Fan clapped his hands hard, scaring Xia Yan who had just come over, and she almost jumped up. Ah, senior sister, you're here. Yeah, I'm here to bring you breakfast, thank you, senior sister. Seeing Li Fan's happy expression, Xia Yan could not help but ask. Have you made any progress? I've made some breakthroughs. Senior sister, wait for my good news. By the way, I want to eat Mao's braised pork tonight. Okay, I'll make it for you. For the first time, Li Fan was in the mood to eat. It seemed that he had really made a breakthrough. Xia Yan also became happy. As long as junior brother was happy, she would also be happy. Time passed by in a blink of an eye. 10 days passed very quickly. In the Abe family's dojo, Abe Yoshio was sitting there, tasting the current island nation's cuisine. Compared to before, the taste is not good. Abe Yoshio sighed, I really miss Ryoko's cooking. Ryoko was the grandmother of Abe Ji and Abe Haruko. Their Abe family had always married into the family and would never have a daughter marry out. Great-grandfather, will that Chinaman still dare to come? Abe Ji worriedly asked, will he find a way to run away? Don't worry, he will definitely come. Abe Yoshio said confidently while tasting the warm sake, I understand them, they are a group of people who want to keep their face. In this aspect, they are similar to our stupid samurai. Perhaps, people who practice martial arts all have this kind of temper. But you are so powerful, if he comes, he will just be sending himself to death. Chapter 938. China's martial artists are all one-track minded. Abe Yoshio chuckled, and then fell into his memories. In the 40s, he represented Japan's super forces and invaded China. Oh, no, it can't be called an invasion, it can only be called entering. At that time, there was a martial artist in China whose strength was only slightly stronger than him. When he fought with him, his hand had been injured for a period of time. The martial artist defeated him, but did not kill him, because he felt that he had an unfair advantage. He made an agreement with him to fight again when his hand recovered. But Abe Yoshio took advantage of the night and snuck into the martial artist's house, and cast an illusion spell on his wife, causing his wife to kill the martial artist when he was least prepared. China's martial artists are all a bunch of idiots. Abe Yoshio picked up a cup of sake and slowly tasted it. Abe Haruko seems to be quite charming, and her chest seems to have developed quite well. It seems like I should find an opportunity to pamper this great-granddaughter of mine. Onmyojis can also increase their spiritual power through dual cultivation. As for that Abe Haruko, she is a little fake, and I don't really like her. In comparison, Abe Haruko is more like an unruly little wild cat, and when she is in bed, it will definitely be more enjoyable. Pampering one's own children is also something that an elder of Japan should do. Just as Abe Yoshio was thinking, a servant walked over, knelt outside their door, and opened the door. Head elder, Lord Elder, that Chinese is here, and he is outside asking for a battle. Look, he really came. Abe Yoshio drank another cup of sake, and then glanced at Abe Haruko at the side. After killing Li Fan, I will have some fun with my great-granddaughter. No, it is to educate her. Let him in. Very quickly, Li Fan walked into the courtyard, and beside him was still his little disciple, Jiang Yi. Abe Haruko glanced at Li Fan, and this glance made her a little reluctant to look away. The Li Fan today seems to be a little different from the past. A few days ago, Li Fan seemed to have a sword hidden in his body, sharp and fatal. However, today, he carried a wave of amiable power. He stood there with a smile on his face, as if he was bathing in the spring wind. Such a man had a peculiar charm that was very attractive to women. Even Abe Haruko couldn't help but take a few more glances at such a man. Sigh, I'm already 30. I really want to find a good man to marry. Li Fan seemed to be a good man. Unfortunately, he was going to die. Even if he didn't die, he was still too young. It would be great if he was an islander. Maybe the two of them could really get married. What am I thinking? Abe Haruko, are you in heat or something? You have some guts. You actually came back. Abe Yoshio did not care about the changes in Li Fan. No matter how much he changed, he was still no match for him. We are martial artists from China. Every word we say is a nail. Everything we say is set in stone. Li Fan stood there with his hands behind his back. He looked at Abe Yoshio as if he did not feel any pressure at all. Your guts are not bad, but your brain is a little stupid. Abe Yoshio sneered. This time, you came back just to die. Not necessarily. Li Fan laughed. Let's fight first. I'm looking forward to beating you up. Truly an arrogant Shina. Abe Yoshio stretched out his hand. The Shikigami Kusanagi was summoned and landed in his palm. This sword had killed the Yamada no Orochi back then. You're just a little Shina, and you want to be my opponent. I don't have such a powerful weapon. Li Fan stretched out his hand and pointed to his right hand, but this right hand of mine had beaten dogs before. Today, I can use it. Bakayaro. Abe Yoshio was used to being arrogant. In his family, he was revered by tens of thousands of people. Today, being provoked by Li Fan, he suddenly could not suppress his anger and became angry. Today, I will make your soul fly away and scatter. Abe Yoshio said as he pointed the Kusanagi at Li Fan. Today is the day you die. Great-grandfather, can you let me go first? Abe Haruko also summoned the Ghost Samurai armor and the Muramasa demon blade and held them in her hand. Sure, I'll let you play first. Abe Yoshio nodded and agreed to Abe Haruko's request. Li Fan, this time I want to defeat you with my own hands. Abe Haruko said to Li Fan, when you're in your best state. And, in the entire Abe family, the only person I admire is you. Li Fan nodded and then hooked his finger at Abe Haruko. This time, I will also use my own skill. Let's have a good fight. Okay. Abe Haruko and Li Fan's gaze collided, and in the next second, Abe Haruko already appeared behind Li Fan. At the same time, the demon blade in her hand slashed towards Li Fan's neck. Li Fan turned around and used Chasing Deer, kicking Abe Haruko's demon blade. Abe Haruko's demon blade bounced back from the kick, and Li Fan took the opportunity to pull out the extraordinary sword and held it in his hand. Abe Haruko's feet bounced off and she suddenly disappeared. When she reappeared, she was standing behind Li Fan and chopped down with her katana. Li Fan turned around and easily flicked Abe Haruko's demon blade away. Charming sword. With this sword in hand, Li Fan could easily break Abe Haruko's blade technique. Abe Haruko looked at Li Fan in surprise. She did not expect that after Li Fan revealed his strength, he would be so difficult to deal with. She immediately jumped back 2 steps, holding the demon blade and once again entered the stance of blade drawing technique. But Li Fan stood there as if he did not care. But his pair of eyes emitted a golden radiance, as if he could see through the blue dome of heaven. Abe Haruko drew her demon blade, but Li Fan took a step to the side. Bang! A long crack appeared on the wall behind him. And Li Fan was unscathed. He stood there and smiled at Abe Haruko. I have already seen through your blade drawing technique. Humph. Abe Haruko did not believe Li Fan's nonsense, and she used blade drawing technique again. But Li Fan took another step to the side, and this blade drawing technique failed again. What? Abe Haruko did not dare to believe her eyes. Her unyielding character took over, and she squatted there, preparing to use blade drawing technique. But Li Fan suddenly appeared in front of Abe Haruko. Abe Haruko may be powerful, but her attack method was seen through by Li Fan. Li Fan pressed his palm on Abe Haruko's head. All things stop. Abe Haruko felt the strength in her body being dispersed, and she fell to the ground weakly. Chapter 939. Abe Haruko's power was dispersed, and she weakly fell down. Li Fan followed up with a point, crane, locking Abe Haruko's body in place. You should rest for a while. Li Fan quickly dealt with Abe Haruko and laid her flat on the dojo. Abe Haruko angrily looked at Li Fan. I actually lost to him, damn it. Looks like I still have to personally kill you. The old Japanese raised his kusanagi and pointed it at Li Fan. Today, here, I will deliver the justice that the Yamato people failed to deliver decades ago. Chinaman, let's start with you. With that, a doppelganger of the old Japanese appeared. Holding the kusanagi, he appeared above Li Fan's head and slashed down at Li Fan. This seems to be one of the kusanagi's abilities, but Li Fan did not care. He looked at the slashing kusanagi and just stood there, hugging his arms. The great god of war bounced out from his body and slapped Abe Yofu's body with his palm. Bang! Abe Yofu's body trembled, but the corner of his mouth hung a smile. The great god of war's palm strike did not seem to cause any damage to Abe Yofu. Abe Yofu ignored the great god of war's attack, and at the same time, ruthlessly slashed at Li Fan with the kusanagi. The powerful great god of war was actually directly slashed in half. Li Fan, on the other hand, was sent flying and slid back 3 or 4 meters before he stabilized his footsteps. You are quite powerful to withstand my undying doppelganger's attack. Abe Yofu's main body looked at Li Fan and said with a smile. Among the Chinese, you should be considered a powerful martial artist, right? It's all right. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. There are many people more powerful than me. No matter what, you are not my opponent. Abe Yofu's main body had a confident smile on his face. With a god-rank Shikigami, and concentrating on training for decades, I am invincible. Don't speak too early. Li Fan looked at the doppelganger in the sky and stretched out his right hand. True dragon hand. The extraordinary sword also flew into the air and spun around Li Fan. Li Fan released 2 sword shadows, which pierced the clones in the air. However, the doppelganger indifferently pulled out the sword's shadow from its body, not even leaving a drop of blood. Li Fan's gaze landed on Abe Yoshio's real body. He released 2 sword shadows, but the sword shadows directly passed through Abe Yoshio's body and stabbed into the wall behind him. Abe Yoshio's body was like a phantom. After shaking a few times, he returned to his original form. It's useless. As long as my doppelganger is present, my main body is in a spiritual state. If you don't defeat my clone, you won't be able to defeat me. Abe Yoshio's ability was indeed troublesome. It's quite troublesome, but it's not like there's no solution. Li Fan wouldn't be polite to Abe Yongfu. He looked at Abe Yoshio's phantom and stretched out his right hand. Dragon Toad ingestion of water. Abe Yoshio's main body paused for a moment and quickly flew toward Li Fan. Nanny. Abe Yoshio was shocked. Why was his spiritual body being pulled over? Moreover, he felt that Li Fan's right hand was like a terrifying black hole. If he were to get close to it, he would be completely destroyed. Return. Abe Yoshio immediately called out to his doppelganger and fused back together. He once again regained control of his body. Following that, he held the kusanagi no tsurugi with both hands and slashed at Li Fan. Sheena. Go to hell. The space seemed to have been severed. Li Fan leaned to the side and barely dodged the sword. There were still cracks in the air, emitting black light. These cracks seemed to be connected to hell. Sheena, you've angered me. As Abe Yoshio spoke, his body had already appeared in front of Li Fan. At the same time, his kusanagi no tsurugi transformed into a sword of light and slashed at Li Fan's body. Li Fan hurriedly activated his golden armor, but he was still sent flying. In the blink of an eye, he smashed through the walls of 2 dojos and landed in the courtyard, creating a deep pit in the ground. Sword art. Abe Yoshio pointed his sword towards the sky. Immediately, thousands of swords of light fell from the sky and shot into the deep pit. Although one of Abe Yoshio's abilities had been sealed, his strength was not the least bit fake. An expert of a generation, with the help of the Kusanagi no Tsurugi, could unleash the strength of 17 dragons. Indeed, quite powerful. Li Fan wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and climbed out of the pit. The broken golden armor slowly dissipated. There were still a few swords of light stuck in his body, but they were not serious injuries. You're actually still breathing. You're really like a cockroach. Abe Yoshio looked at Li Fan coldly, as though he was looking at an ant. But you will die a more painful death. Today, I'll definitely destroy your soul. Is that so? A strong burst of energy suddenly erupted from Li Fan's body. Following that, a golden light landed in front of him. The flying lion goddess, clad in golden armor, walked out of the light. Like an undefeated general, she stepped into the battlefield once again. Ha, it's this fake Shikigami again. What's the point of calling her out? Abe Yoshio looked down on the flying lion goddess. Are you going to let her witness your death? Standing there, Li Fan lightly spat out these 2 words. The flying lion goddess suddenly started to disappear. However, the energy on her body and her armor remained. These armors flew up and draped themselves over Li Fan's body. Golden lightning flashed in Li Fan's eyes. After putting on the armor, he grabbed the flying lion goddess's sacred sword and let out a roar. Roar! A huge shockwave immediately spread out, crashing into the surroundings. With Li Fan as the axis, a layer of the ground within 100 meters was lifted up. The surrounding trees and buildings were all crushed by his power. Li Fan's 9.5 dragon strength and the flying lion goddess's 5 dragon strength were added together. Close to the strength of 15 dragons. This is Li Fan's strength after being armed. Deliberately mystifying. Abe Yoshio once again quickly approached Li Fan. The glowing Kusanagi no Tsurugi in his hand fiercely slashed at Li Fan. Charming gentle sword. Li Fan raised his sacred sword and blocked Abe Yoshio's Kusanagi no Tsurugi. At the same time, he moved his shoulder and head-on collided with Abe Yoshio's chest. Abe Yoshio's body was sent flying. Li Fan's feet bounced and immediately chased after him. Abe Yoshio hastily faced the enemy. The 2 swords collided. In a second, each of them had unleashed more than 10 moves. Clang, clang, clang. Abe Haruko could only see flashes of light. Her eyes could not keep up with the speed of the 2. Abe Haruko could still see, but she was powerless to intervene. The strength of the 2 was too terrifying. How did China's Li Fan do it? In just a short 10 days, he broke through to the Grandmaster realm. Chapter 940. Not to mention Abe Haruko, even Abe Yofu is extremely shocked. How did this Chinese grow so much in just a few days? He had cultivated for 30 years before breaking through from the peak of perfection to the realm of a Grandmaster. How did he do it in just 10 days? This is impossible. Qilin palm. Li Fan suddenly slaps his palm on Abe Yofu's chin. Ice and fire dual effects, producing a powerful destructive force. It is no longer the power of ice and fire, but the true fusion of yin and yang, followed by an explosion. Bang! Abe Yofu seems to feel the impact of a nuclear bomb. A strong airflow erupts from his body, and he is instantly sent flying into the air. Li Fan stands on the ground and points 2 fingers at Abe Yofu in midair. 10,000 swords as one. Tens of thousands of swords instantly appear in the air. These swords quickly fuse into the extraordinary sword, and then along with Li Fan's finger, it directly shoots out. Pooh! The extraordinary sword directly hits Abe Yofu, piercing through his body, directly crushing him in midair. Dang, dang, dang. A rain of swords explodes in the air, this rain of swords tearing every inch of Abe Yofu's flesh. But the flesh that was not torn off in time suddenly turns into pieces of paper, and the real Abe Yofu has unknowingly returned to the ground, panting heavily, re-examining Li Fan. Chinaman, I have underestimated you. But this kind of mistake, I will not make it again. Abe Yofu says as he raises his Kusanagi sword high up. The Kusanagi sword emits a dazzling golden light, draping over Abe Yofu's body. An old man with white hair and a ruddy complexion, the muscles on his body suddenly swell, and his hair instantly turns back to black. He, ha 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 ha. Abe Yofu laughs, the Kusanagi sword can temporarily restore me to the state of when I was young. I will use my strongest form to kill you. Then I really have to thank you. Before Li Fan can finish his words, Abe Yofu is already in front of him, the sword in his hand continuously slashing at Li Fan. Li Fan carries the holy sword, barely able to fight. However, it was getting harder and harder for him. Soon, his forehead was covered in cold sweat. Abe Yofu was also getting more and more pleased with himself. He looked at Li Fan and kept mocking him. Foolish Chinaman, do you think you can defeat me just because you're a little stronger? You are all scum. The Chinas are an inferior race by nature and should be ruled by us Yamato people. I will liberate Huaxia and let you have true rule. As soon as Abe's words fell, Li Fan's fist suddenly landed on his cheek. He took a step back and looked at Li Fan again. This kid still has some strength to resist. I'm tired of hearing it. Li Fan dug his ears. Let's end the game here. Do you think you can defeat me? Abe Yofu's aura erupted once again. Go to hell and dream on. Abe Yofu brandished his Kusanagi no Tsurugi and once again appeared in front of Li Fan. The great sword swept towards Li Fan. At this moment, Li Fan's body suddenly erupted with a golden radiance. His skin began to turn crimson red. Surging true chi emerged and a golden ring formed behind him. Deliberately mystifying, before Abe Yofu could finish his words, Li Fan suddenly appeared in front of him. At the same time, he raised his right leg and kicked Abe Yofu's head. Boom! Abe Yofu's body was ruthlessly smashed into the ground, creating a 3-meter radius crater. Following that, Li Fan landed in the crater and placed his palm on Abe Yofu's forehead. Dragon Spitting Pearl. A powerful true chi struck Abe Yofu's body. Abe Yofu's body was directly turned into minced meat, leaving nothing behind. 10 seconds. Li Fan could only maintain this for 10 seconds. Within these 10 seconds, his heart rate was 10 times faster than normal. If it exceeds 10 seconds, Li Fan would die first. But after successfully dealing with this old devil, Li Fan could finally heave a sigh of relief. With Abe Yofu's death, his Kusanagi no Tsurugi also slowly disappeared. Abe Haruko directly knelt down. She did not have the slightest bit of strength left in her body. People of the Abe family, listen up. Li Fan stood on the dojo. His voice was wrapped in true chi and spread out in all directions. Using the Abe family as an example, from now on, if any family in Japan dares to offend my China, offend me, Li Fan, I will personally destroy their family. Abe Haruko looked at Li Fan. This man is so arrogant and unruly. Abe Haruko, I will be taking your family head away. Li Fan said as he directly carried Abe Haruko, who had not recovered, with one hand. From today onwards, she is my, Li Fan's hostage. Bastard, let me go. Abe Haruko struggled with all her might, but after Li Fan said a few words, she immediately became obedient. If you don't go back with me, I will destroy all the Onmyoji here and make the Abe family completely disappear in the dust of history. When Li Fan said this, his voice was filled with killing intent. It did not seem like he was joking at all. Abe Haruko did not say anything and obediently allowed herself to be carried by Li Fan. If the Abe family is not obedient in the future, your family head will die in a foreign land. Li Fan threatened both sides. This directly went to the Abe family, one of the 3 major families in Japan, and snatched their family head back. Perhaps, in the future, Li Fan's name would also be famous in Japan. With the identity of a bandit, Li Fan left the Abe family for the second time. This time, he swaggered out with Jiang Yi by his side and Abe Haruko in his arms. Li Fan returned to the hotel in style and threw Abe Haruko onto the sofa. Li Fan, kill me. Abe Haruko sat on the sofa and looked at Li Fan with hatred. This old lady will not submit to you. I don't want to do anything to you. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders, took out a bottle of Coke from the fridge and threw it to Abe Haruko. Just be an obedient hostage. Oh right, don't you want to play the cello? When you return to China, I will recommend you a band. You can try it. How do you know that I like to play the cello? Abe Haruko caught the Coke and looked at Li Fan with a frown. I looked it up. For an influential figure like you, I can find it on Baidu. Li Fan took out a bottle of ice water, and Abe Haruko immediately asked, why don't you drink Coke? Are you crazy? I am a martial artist. This kind of carbonated drink naturally needs to be reduced. This old lady is also afraid of getting fat. Abe Haruko rolled her eyes, but Li Fan laughed. You can convert the Coke's energy into spiritual energy. Then can't you convert the Coke's energy into true chi? I can. Li Fan nodded his head, but I still need to refine it. It is too troublesome. Chapter 941. Xia Ho went out to buy groceries, and Chen Junhua should be practicing his swordsmanship in the yard downstairs, so only Jiang Yi accompanied her in the room. Li Fan and Abe Haruko sat face to face, staring at each other. Li Fan was quite casual, he crossed his legs and was drinking ice water. Drinking ice water is also bad for the body. Abe Haruko could not bear it anymore, so she said, you might as well drink Coke. Why do you like to nitpick? Li Fan looked Abe Haruko up and down. You don't say, your aunt in her 30s looks quite young. Do you want to die? Abe Haruko clenched her fists, and spiritual power began to emerge from her body. How can you evade your age? Li Fan reminded her, I know a woman, she is already a few hundred years old, but she never avoids her age. Nonsense, how can there be a few hundred years old woman? The boundless world is full of strange things. Before I met the Onmyoji, I didn't know anything about Shikigami and curse techniques. Li Fan frankly said, don't you know now? The Abe family will definitely take revenge for me. No, I will definitely take revenge myself. If you want to take revenge, you can. Li Fan said, as long as you are willing to compete with me fair and square, no matter when you find me, I can fight with you. Fighting, of course it must be fair and square. Abe Haruko said without hesitation, and I can definitely defeat you. Just you wait. Okay, but you still have to go back to China with me. Li Fan also has his own thoughts in taking Abe Haruko back. With Abe Haruko here, Li Fan is not afraid of the Abe family playing any tricks, they can smoothly board the plane back to China. Another point, once Abe Haruko leaves, the Abe family will definitely fall into internal strife. As the saying goes, a group of dragons without a leader, they have to choose a temporary leader, which will definitely cause internal friction. Third, taking away the head of the Abe family is also a warning to the other families in the island. Don't provoke me. Whoever provokes me, I'll go straight to your house and kidnap him. The power of the 3 great clans of the island country could be considered to be relatively equal. Now that they had done this, the entire island country should be on the side. Li Fan, can you tell me how you became so much stronger in just 10 days? Abe Haruko could not help but ask. I know it's rude to ask like this. It's fine if you don't want to answer. It's okay, you can answer. Li Fan didn't mind. I still have to thank you for this. Thank me. Yeah, because I was inspired to see you and your spirit-branded retainer as one. As Li Fan spoke, he extended his hand and summoned the Flying Lion Goddess. The heroic Flying Lion Goddess stood there, her golden armor reflecting the afterglow of the setting sun. You're not a spirit-branded retainer, right? Abe Haruko couldn't help but reach out and touch the armor of the Flying Lion Goddess. This degree of realism was something that spirit-branded retainers couldn't compare to. Yep, not a spirit-branded retainer. Li Fan nodded. This is a superpower of my friend, materializing a type of card. I can use it after I inject true chi into it. She has been with me since she was born, and it's been a long time now. The reason why spirit-branded retainer can fuse with me is because we have the same spiritual power and are on the same wavelength. Abe Haruko summoned the demon samurai and stood beside her. If we can't reach the same wavelength, there's no way to fuse with it. Instead, we'll hurt ourselves. Since you're not a spirit-branded retainer, and you don't understand spiritual power, how are you able to do this? Spiritual power, spirit-branded retainer, true chi, superpower, to put it bluntly, it's just a type of energy. Li Fan flicked his palm away. Today, I dispersed the energy in your body, so your spiritual power will be completely empty. In the end, as long as you can control energy, you'll be able to control the true meaning of power. Energy. Abe Haruko seemed to understand something. How about this? I'll acknowledge you as my master. Ha! I'll acknowledge you as my master, learn the use of energy from you, and then after I become stronger, I'll defeat you. Li Fan was a bit speechless. This woman is a bit too capricious. What's wrong? You don't dare. You're the head of the dignified Abe family, acknowledging me, a Chinese, as your master. Are you not afraid of being laughed at when you go back? The strong is the master, what's there to be laughed at? Abe Haruko directly said, you're stronger than me, so naturally, you can be my master. Okay, then kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times. Li Fan half-jokingly pointed to the ground. Remember, it's a kowtow. Okay. Abe Haruko knelt down without hesitation, and kowtowed 3 times to the ground. Bang, 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 3 times, one louder than the other. Even if Li Fan wanted to embarrass her, he swallowed the rest of his words. Master, in the future, this disciple will go through water and tread on fire for master, without hesitation. Abe Haruko, with a blue and red mark on her head, raised her body and cupped her hands towards Li Fan. Okay, I was joking at first, but since you've already kowtowed, then from today onwards, you're my 4th disciple. Li Fan reached out his hand and touched Abe Haruko's forehead. True chi entered, promoting blood circulation and removing blood stasis, and the wound on Abe Haruko's forehead immediately healed a lot. To be honest, I originally planned to accept 2 disciples. Since you're here, you can be considered as my last disciple. Thank you, Master. Abe Haruko decided to follow Li Fan and learn things, so that she could become stronger in the future. She doesn't want to be suppressed by Li Fan forever, she must defeat Li Fan. Who is this? Xia Ho just pushed the door open and entered, followed by Chen Junhua who was sweating profusely. Chen Junhua probably bumped into Xia Ho, as he was helping Xia Ho to carry bags of various ingredients and meat. Xia Ho immediately saw Abe Haruko sitting on the sofa. This woman was wearing a kimono, and her face was covered in dirt, making it impossible to not notice her. Let me introduce you guys, this is the head of the Abe family, Abe Haruko. Li Fan introduced. Xia Ho and Chen Junhua immediately acted as if they were facing a great enemy, while Abe Haruko hurriedly ran forward and bowed deeply to them, before reaching out to take Chin Junhwa's things. You must be Master's friend, I'm sorry. This. What's going on? Xiao Ho was a little confused. From today onwards, she's my little disciple. In the future, if you guys have any hard work, just order her to do it. Okay. Previously, Abe Haruko was still arrogant, but now, she had completely restrained herself. She did whatever Li Fan said, and she was like a little wife. Xiao Ho was a little unhappy. Didn't he come to Japan to start a war? Why did he bring a girl back? Is there an end to this? As the two of them walked out of the teaching building, she gave advice to Li Fan. If it's 2:11, it's still a little lacking. Li Fan didn't dare to think too much. He would be satisfied if he could get into a decent school. University was a kind of life, a life that everyone should enjoy. A decent university was enough. There was no need to risk your life to get into a difficult university. People like Lin Yuhsien were an exception. Her IQ was higher than others. Even if she wanted to give up, it would not be easy to get into a normal university. This girl was born to go to a good university. There was not much time left before the college entrance examination. This short love life of the two of them should be coming to an end soon. Thinking about it, it seemed quite legendary. The two of them went from being hostile at the beginning to trying to fall in love. Later, they really tried to fall in love. So, things like dating were still uncertain. Even if they didn't like each other at the beginning, they might fall in love with each other later. Falling in love was amazing. Although Li Fan had some control over his energy, he had no wisdom or experience when it came to relationships. He always felt that love was a metaphysics, and girls were strange creatures that he couldn't understand. Mr. Li, the two of them walked to the door, but they were blocked by a black Mercedes-Benz. Yufeng stood beside the car and bowed respectfully to Li Fan. All right then, Moon Immortal, you go back to the security agency first. I'll be back in a while. Lin Yuhsien nodded and left obediently. Yufeng opened the car door for Li Fan. Li Fan got in and saw that Miss Lu Xinan was indeed sitting inside. This commercial Mercedes-Benz had luxurious facilities inside, just like a luxury cabin on land. Lu Xinan was wearing a purple dress, sitting there with a wine glass in her hand, slowly swirling it. Seeing Li Fan come in, she first glanced at Li Fan's hand, then retracted her gaze and said casually, "You're living a good life, hooking up with that girl. Her name is Lin Yuhsien, you know her." Her name is Lin Yuhsien, it's not like you don't know her. Li Fan casually opened the fridge and took out a bottle of Coke. He thought for a moment, put the Coke back, picked up a bottle of red wine, and poured himself a glass. "Miss Lu, why are you looking for me so late at night? Do I have to look for you for something?" Lu Xinan looked at Li Fan. "When did you and I become so estranged?" "I don't think so, you're the one who thinks so." Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. "I've always regarded us as good friends." "You're talking nonsense." Lu Xinan stared at Li Fan, as if she wanted to pierce through Li Fan with her eyes. "I clearly see in your eyes, disgust." "Why should I disgust you? You hate me for embarrassing you in front of so many people, and even made you chop off your hand. Isn't everything fine now?" Li Fan shook his hand. "You just hate me, you hate me." Lu Xinan grabbed Li Fan's collar. Hey, a gentleman uses his mouth, not his fists." Li Fan hurriedly shouted. "So what if I do? You must hate me, otherwise why didn't you look for me for so long?" Lu Xinan was almost on top of Li Fan. The car started slowly, as if she didn't want to let go of Li Fan. Lu Xinan stared at Li Fan's eyes. Tell me, do you hate me? Miss Lu. We're all civilized people, can't you use a civilized way to talk? Li Fan said. Aren't you a bit barbaric? I'm barbaric. Lu Xinan almost laughed out of anger. Believe it or not, this lady has a more barbaric way. With that, Lu Xinan began to untie Li Fan's collar, which scared Li Fan to tremble. Fuck, sister, what do you want to do? Fuck you. Lu Xinan licked her lips and looked at Li Fan. Didn't you say I'm barbaric? Now this lady will show you what real barbaric is. Chapter 943. Lu Xinan is like a wild cat, sitting in the car, desperately tearing Li Fan's clothes. This car is soundproof, moreover, it is an enclosed space. Even Yufeng, who is sitting in the front, cannot see what is happening inside the car. Don't mess around. I am not such a casual person. Li Fan tried to push this person away, but he did not dare to use too much strength, lest he hurt Lu Xinan. If you are not casual, then I am. Today, this lady will do it with you, as repayment for forcing you to chop your hand last time. What the, how can it be like this? Li Fan is dumbfounded. How can you repay a debt like this? Moreover, no matter how I look at it, it looks like you are the one who wants to take advantage of me. Go to hell. Lu Xinan's face turned red for the first time. No matter what, this lady is still a beauty. Now that I have given myself to you, and the first thing I want to do is car sex. Isn't that exciting? Exciting, too exciting. My heart can't take it anymore. Li Fan quickly said, I am still young, I can't accept such an exciting thing. Come on, you are still young. Come, let this lady see if you are young or not. With that, Lu Xinan goes to untie Li Fan's belt, scaring Li Fan so much that he almost peed. Miss Lu, don't be impulsive, listen to my advice. Less nonsense. How can a man be so wishy-washy? Lu Xinan is like a drug, crazily attacking Li Fan's body, wishing to eat Li Fan. This is not good, Miss Lu. Li Fan still strongly refuses. What's not good? Lu Xinan asked. Previously, you had a fiancé named Muronging. Now that the two of you have broken up, why can't you do it? I will take you in, and you can be my man with peace of mind. I don't want it. Why? What's wrong with me? As Lu Xinan spoke, she had already lifted her skirt and was straddling Li Fan's body. What's wrong with me? What do you lose by marrying me? The entire black market in City A is under my management, and you know the level of the group. You don't need me to advertise for you, do you? Miss Lu is naturally the object of affection. Li Fan explained, you're very beautiful, and your family background is very prominent. But the problem was that I didn't want to get married, nor did I want to marry a random woman. If I, Li Fan, want to marry someone, the prerequisite is that I must love her. You don't love me. I have a good impression of him, but not love. Li Fan said honestly, with Miss Lu's appearance, it's impossible for a man to not have a good impression of you. My father married before falling in love. After we get married, you can slowly fall in love with me. Do you think I'm the kind of person who would be forced? Humph. Lu Xinan looked at Li Fan angrily. I don't care, I've been going crazy recently. My mind is full of you. It's impossible between the two of us, Lu Xinan. Li Fan felt that he should be more ruthless. Too much warmth would instead let Lu Xinan have unrealistic fantasies, which was not good. I'm going to take the college entrance exam soon, and then I'll go to another city. We won't meet for 4 years, and then you'll slowly forget me. Impossible. You don't know me at all. Lu Xinan pulled Li Fan. I'm a Sagittarius woman. Once I fall in love with a man, it's impossible for me to forget him. Li Fan, after so many years, you're the first man that I've fallen in love with. I'm honored, but there's still no possibility between us. Li Fan emphasized again. If there's no possibility, then there's no possibility. Then give me a son. Lu Xinan began to tear Li Fan's belt, but Li Fan secretly added true qi to the belt, making Lu Xinan unable to pull it off. Give me a son. Later on, I'll be responsible for taking care of the child. You can do whatever you want. Li Fan was about to collapse. How could this woman have the same hobby as Muronging? Wanting me to give her a child? Isn't this a joke? I'm not a stud horse. Li Fan pushed Lu Xinan away and pushed her back to her seat. Lu Xinan, I think we're still good friends, that's why I got on your car. Don't go too far, please cherish our friendship. Li Fan, do you really want to be so ruthless? Lu Xinan looked at Li Fan with some pain in her eyes. This is not ruthless, it's the truth. Li Fan looked at Lu Xinan and said word by word, we're originally friends and have supported each other until now. I don't want our friendship to be destroyed. I hate it. I hate it too. Li Fan frowned. Lu Xinan, I have a girlfriend now. It's not good for you to be like this. Your girlfriend? Lin Yuhsin. Compared to her, how am I worse? Of course not. Li Fan did not deny it, both of you have your own good points. No matter which one of you, men will flock to you like a flock of ducks. But I'm not one of them. I've only been dating Lin Yuhsin for a short period of time. We've agreed to break up peacefully after entering university. Li Fan. I really don't understand you. Are you gay? Lu Xinan looked at Li Fan in shock. Of course not. Li Fan immediately denied, my sexual orientation is normal. Then why don't you like any of these girls? What are you trying to do? My mind isn't on this. Li Fan told the truth. Lu Xinan, you're also the person in charge of a group. You should know what it feels like to have a burden on your shoulders. I'm carrying this burden now. My biggest thought at the moment is to improve my martial arts so that I can step into the realm of a grandmaster as soon as possible. Looking at Li Fan's serious look, Lu Xinan was anxious and angry at the same time. Ever since she was young, she had never lost anything that she wanted to obtain. But Li Fan was an exception that made Lu Xinan's heart itch. Why did he have to slip out of her grasp? How annoying. If she couldn't get Li Fan, she would definitely go crazy. Lu Xinan, why are you so useless today? Lu Xinan felt like crying. She stretched her hand to the back of her waist. Lu Xinan pulled out a pistol. It was a delicate PPK, a small pistol suitable for girls. What the hell? What are you doing? Since I can't get you, I might as well destroy you. Lu Xinan pulled the safety, I'll kill you first, then I'll commit suicide. That way, we can still be a couple in the underworld. You're crazy. Li Fan looked at Lu Xinan who had gone crazy and grabbed her wrist. You should go see a doctor, crazy woman. Chapter 944. I'm not crazy. I'm very calm right now. Lu Xinan's words were indeed very calm. With tears in her eyes, she looked at Li Fan. I know this is the only way to be with you. Li Fan, I don't want to be so uncomfortable anymore. I hate being like this. I miss you every day and every night. I'm very sad. We're all civilized people. Why do you have to be so violent? Can we have a good chat? Li Fan tried to persuade Lu Xinan. This girl was getting more and more extreme. First of all, you can't kill me with a pistol. Secondly, it's not good for us to do this. I also installed a bomb in the car. Lu Xinan almost scared Li Fan. If I can't kill you with a pistol, I will detonate the bomb, and we'll all go to heaven together. Lu Xinan, are we enemies? Lu Xinan nodded. Fuck, when did this happen? In my eyes, if you're not a lover, then you're an enemy. Lu Xinan's answer was neat. For a moment, Li Fan couldn't refute it. Don't make trouble. The bomb can't kill me. The only one who will die is you. At that time, Yufeng will accompany you to be husband and wife. Li Fan's words seemed to wake up Lu Xinan. She opened a small box next to her and pressed a button. A small light on it turned green. What's this? Nothing, just deactivating the timer. Lu Xinan's understated answer made Li Fan almost collapse. My dear Miss Lu, we don't need to play this way, right? My means have always been like this. Don't you understand? Lu Xinan's serious look made Li Fan almost collapse. How about this, Lu Xinan, let's all take a step back. Huh? Lu Xinan raised her eyebrows. Continue. Well, it's not like I don't have any feelings for you. How about this, we give each other a chance. After I go to university, if you can wait for me for 4 years, when I come back after 4 years, I will fall in love with you, get married, and have children with you. Is that okay? Are you kidding me? 4 years. After 4 years, I'll be old. Lu Xinan snorted coldly. You're not that old. 4 years later, you will be in the prime of your life. I am a woman. Every day of a woman's life is as precious as gold. Lu Xinan reminded Li Fan, your suggestion isn't fair. It doesn't have any value at all. You're just messing with me. 2 years, how about 2 years? 1 year. Lu Xinan raised a finger. I'll wait for you for a year. After a year, if I still like you, you have to date me. As for marriage, it can wait a bit. I'm not that conservative. You see, marrying a tolerant and magnanimous woman like me, are you still not satisfied? I'm satisfied, I'm quite satisfied. Since we've come to an agreement, you should let me off the car. Li Fan was in deep shit. He was just a high school student, yet he was being forced to marry by 3 women. There was even a woman who wanted to date him. What was going on? What was so good about him? You're not willing to stay with me for a minute. Lu Xinan frowned and looked at Li Fan unhappily. Li Fan said, be reasonable. We've been together for more than 10 minutes. No, I still have things to do at the security agency. How can I leave such a big mess alone? Li Fan made up an excuse. He hoped that Lu Xinan could calm down alone. Humph, you bastard. I really don't know what I like about you. Damn, I want to know too, huh? I said it's my honor to have you take a liking to me. My ancestors' graves are emitting smoke. Li Fan quickly corrected himself. Stop fooling around. I really should get off the car. Alright, we'll have plenty of time in the future anyway. Lu Xinan cheered up. She pressed on the box again and the green light on it disappeared. What do you mean? It's really nothing this time. You can get off the car. Li Fan felt a chill run down his spine. He really did not know what Lu Xinan would have done if he had not taken a step back. This woman. She's a lunatic. A year was just a delaying tactic. He hoped that Lu Xinan was just acting on the spur of the moment and would quickly calm down during this year. Li Fan returned to the security agency. After revising his lessons, he practiced 2 rounds of boxing before washing up and going to bed. The next day, he went to school as usual. The third mock examination was imminent and the students were all very nervous. It was like this before the college entrance examination. Once the third mock examination was over, all the students would suddenly relax. This was because the results of the third mock examination determined everything. No matter how hard they worked, they would not be able to improve much in the next few days. During the period between the third mock examination and the college entrance examination, the school would be more relaxed and give more time to the students themselves. In the morning, they were talking about some of the questions from the previous exam. Li Fan could answer most of them, which made him very satisfied. During the lunch break, Lin Yuexian took out lunch for two. Seeing her take out a big lunch box and place it on the table, many male students were envious. This Lin Yuexian was the campus belle. She was taking care of Li Fan like a loving wife and loving mother. It was really enviable. Did Auntie make this braised pork today? Li Fan looked at the fragrant red braised meat and said, "It seems different." "I made it." Lin Yuexian rolled her eyes at Li Fan. "Beer braised pork. I learned it from the internet. It seems a little sweet. Try it. Not bad. You know more and more dishes." Lin Yuexian picked up a piece of braised pork and fed it to Li Fan. "You can even open a restaurant in the future." Li Fan praised her as he ate. What's wrong with you today? Why are you so sweet?" Lin Yuexian suddenly winked at Li Fan and lowered her voice. "How about I feed you with my mouth?" Li Fan shuddered when he heard this. He looked around and saw many guys glaring at him angrily. If they saw this, they would be so angry that their lungs would explode. But it seemed like it was not bad to enjoy this feeling. Before Li Fan could make up his mind, a sweet voice came from outside the door. "Honey, I brought you something to eat." Everyone turned their heads and saw a beautiful woman, dressed in a cowboy outfit, walking in with an alluring charm. Behind her was a bodyguard in a black suit, carrying a large food box in his hand. Everyone felt strange. Who was this beauty? Li Fan's head swelled as he stood there foolishly. What the heck? Why is she here? "Dear, I brought you a lot of food." This beauty was like a gust of wind. She pulled a chair from the side and sat in front of Li Fan as if there was no one else around. Then she let the bodyguard open the lunchbox and put it on the table. Chapter 945. This is Mandala's Australian lobster, this is Quanjud's Peking duck, this is Black General's steak. Yu Feng placed the plates of delicacies in front of Li Fan. Lu Xinan sat opposite Li Fan, holding her chin with both hands as she looked at Li Fan. Her eyes curved into crescent moons, filled with love. Lin Yuexian sat at the side in shock, looking at the woman who suddenly barged in. The others in the classroom were also stunned. What's going on? Lu Xinan. You. Li Fan suddenly didn't know what to say. Lu Xinan, what are you doing? Lin Yuexian calmed down first and asked directly, this is my boyfriend. I'll worry about what he eats for lunch. Yes, he's your boyfriend now, but it won't be long, right? Lu Xinan didn't turn her head and kept looking at Li Fan, but she said, it won't be long before the two of you break up. But Li Fan promised me that 1 year later, he'll be in a relationship with me. Lin Yuexian almost lost her temper. But she was a woman with an IQ of over 140 after all. On second thought, she could roughly guess the situation. That's a matter for 1 year later. Right now, he's still mine. Thank you, please leave. So what if it's a year later? He'll be mine anyway. That's different. Lin Yuexian put forward a concept, it's like I have a car now and promise to sell it to you 1 year later. But now, you come to my place every day and want to drive my car. How can that be? You're also a businessman. Can you accept this kind of unreasonable thing? Fuck, who's a car? Li Fan wanted to curse. Little sister, what you said is somewhat reasonable. Lu Xinan finally turned her head and her gaze fell on Lin Yuhsin. It's a waste of your talent to work under Li Fan. Why don't you come to my company and be my consultant? Look, do I look like I'm short of work? Lin Yuhsin smiled and said, as for you, this isn't your workplace. Please respect the school and don't come and go as you please. Thank you. Isn't it just a school? I'm happy, I'll buy it. Let's talk about it after you buy it. Lin Yuhsin kindly did the math for her. Our school is a shareholding company. If you want to buy the school, you have to buy at least 30% of the shares. By the time you're done buying these shares, we'll be graduating. When the time comes, if possible, try to buy our university as well. Lin Yuhsin's words made Lu Xinan's face turn red and white. In any case, it was not a good color. Little girl, you really have a sharp tongue. Lu Xinan immediately retorted, but after university, you won't be together anymore. If you want to enjoy, then enjoy the present. Drive this car for me first. I'll come back to get the car key. Then just wait. Hey, that's enough, you two. Li Fan finally couldn't take it anymore. Who's the car? You. The two women simultaneously glared at Li Fan. Fine. Remember to take good care of me. Li Fan didn't say anything. He admitted defeat. The combined fighting power of these two women was not something to be trifled with. Yu Feng, let's go. Lu Xinan was a little unhappy. A feeling of defeat pierced her heart. She ordered and prepared to leave with Yu Feng. Take your food as well. Lin Yuhsin reminded her, my car is still under my control. Outsiders are prohibited from refueling. Take it away. Lu Xinan stomped her feet and let Yu Feng pick up the food box. Then she turned around and left the classroom. Lin Yuhsin made a victory sign to Li Fan. Aren't you angry? Li Fan asked. What's there to be angry about? Eat, it's going to get cold. Lin Yuhsin picked some food for Li Fan, but Li Fan looked at her and asked. You're really not angry. What do you want me to do? I'm just a weak woman. Lin Yuhsin faintly sighed, moreover, I'm a weak woman who will be abandoned after a month. This, well, just like what Lu Xinan said, enjoy the present. Lin Yuhsin seemed to have gotten over it. Maybe we'll be together in the future, right? Yes, you're right. Li Fan nodded. He was relieved that Lin Yuhsin was so considerate. The surrounding students were all jealous to death. Li Fan, this bastard, was it not enough to have Lin Yuhsin, he even kept such a beautiful woman as a spare tire. What a lunatic. Li Fan temporarily got over the crisis with Lu Xinan. In the following days, he was busy preparing for the college entrance examination while dating Lin Yuhsin. After the third mock, Li Fan's score was 571, which was basically the score range. Spring passed and summer came. When the girls all changed into short shorts, the college entrance examination came along with the heat. In the period before the college entrance examination, the school was almost on holiday. There was no one in the classroom. Even the students who loved to study had gone to the internet cafe to vent. Li Fan followed a few of his good classmates and went to the internet cafe to play LOL for a few days. He hadn't played on the computer for a long time, and LOL had been changed for 2 seasons. Li Fan was a little unfamiliar with the heroes here. Lin Yuhsin sat next to him. She played the support position, specially to protect and escort Li Fan. This girl's IQ was extraordinary. She learned everything very quickly. After playing for less than 3 days, her hammering stones were almost at the professional level. Damn, Lin Yuhsian, you can play in the competition now. The students who were playing LOL with Li Fan couldn't help but praise Lin Yuhsian's positioning and awareness. Basically, Lin Yuhsian's hooks hit 9 times out of 10. She was very good at it. How are your hooks so accurate? Can you teach me? It's to observe the opponent's habits. Lin Yuhsian casually said, everyone has their own positioning habits. As long as you understand it, you can basically hook it. Awesome, the students couldn't help but praise her. One of them pointed at the computer and laughed. The opponent's little Pow is so bad. Li Fan glanced at the little Pow who was on the opposite side. It was killed by the tower because it tried to steal. For a moment, Li Fan fell into memories. This little Pow was almost the same as Muronging. Her level was not that good. She only played with him for a while. It seemed that things were still the same, but the people had changed. They played for an entire afternoon and almost never lost. Let's go home. Li Fan picked up his bag, it's boring to keep winning. You brat, you have the nerve to say that it's all in Yuhsian's credit. Come, let's play 2 more rounds. I want to get a diamond. I'm not playing anymore. Tomorrow is the college entrance exam. I'm going home to study. Li Fan pulled Lin Yuhsian, said goodbye to the students, and turned to leave the internet cafe. Chapter 946. Lin Yuhsian obediently followed behind Li Fan. Along the way, she didn't say a word and just silently let Li Fan hold her hand as they walked. The parasol trees on both sides were luxuriant with leaves blooming beautifully. The two of them walked on the road without saying a word, as if they were enjoying this short period of time. Tomorrow is the college entrance examination. Which school do you plan to apply for? Seeing a couple kissing on the side of the road, the two of them felt slightly uncomfortable. In order to ease the awkward atmosphere, Lin Yuhsian asked. Maybe G University. When Li Fan said a university in the south, Lin Yuhsian was a bit surprised. Your score is almost enough, but why did you choose a university in the south? Because there are a lot of martial arts schools there. Li Fan smiled. I plan to open a martial arts school there, accept more disciples, and teach them my martial arts. As Li Fan said that, he looked at a panting fatty on the side of the road. Most of the Chinese are in sub-health, weak and sickly. I hope that my 7-gallon fist can have some effect on strengthening the body. Your current realm is a bit too high. Lin Yuhsian looked at Li Fan in surprise. I feel a bit unworthy. What are you talking about? Our moon immortal is a goddess. Li Fan pulled Lin Yuhsian's hand, leaned in front of her, and lightly kissed her forehead. Belongs to my goddess. Humph, recently you've become very good at sweet talking. Lin Yuhsian pouted and lightly rolled her eyes at Li Fan. No way, it's true. Li Fan touched his conscience and said, also, I'm not joking about opening a martial arts school. I heard that Guangzhou is the hometown of martial arts, and there are more experts there. I still want to go and meet them. Moreover, the martial arts schools there are more formal, and still retain some martial arts culture. Do you want to carry forward China's martial arts culture? Yes. Li Fan nodded. After making a trip to the island nation and seeing the support of the island nation's samurai culture, Li Fan could not help but sigh. When he was in Japan, he could often see karate dojos and kendo dojos. And in China, only Wing Chun had just become popular because of the movie Ip Man. As for most of the ancient martial arts practitioners in Huaxia, they were almost lost because of the four olds and sectarian bias. Otherwise, the sects would be locked down tightly, and the sect rules would be strict. There would be layers of selections, and almost no ordinary people would be allowed to enter to learn. Li Fan was the exact opposite. He intended to bring his 7 hero fists to greater heights. This fist technique was currently ranked 8th in the Divine Skill Manual, and could be considered a peerless divine skill. Li Fan was probably the first person who could spread his kung fu like him. What about the escort agency? Lin Yuhsin hurriedly asked. I'll leave the escort agency's matters to Big Dipper, Chen Junhua, Yan Kai, and little senior sister Xia Yan. Li Fan had already thought it through. I'll go there and open a dojo myself. I'll start from scratch. Sometimes, there are things on you that really attract me. Lin Yuhsin pulled Li Fan's hand. It would be great if I could walk down this path with you. We're still friends. Li Fan looked at Lin Yuhsin's beautiful face and said, this will never change. Actually, I'm very curious who the woman who will be by your side in the future will be. Lin Yuhsin looked at Li Fan, her gaze unwilling to leave. I'm even more curious. Maybe it will be our moon immortal. I'm not a spare tire. Lin Yuhsin said, when I'm in university, I want to find a handsome boyfriend who will buy me breakfast every day, then we'll study together and go out to play at night. If he truly loves me, when we're in our 2nd or 3rd year, we'll rent a house outside and live together. Li Fan's heart thumped wildly when he heard this. It felt as if someone had pinched his heart. It was extremely uncomfortable. What's wrong? Seeing Li Fan's pale complexion, Lin Yuhsin reached out and touched Li Fan's forehead with the back of her hand. Are you sick? I'm a martial artist, how could I be sick? A common cold won't affect me at all. That's true, then why do you look so pale? It's nothing, Li Fan waved his hand. He didn't know what was wrong with him, but he suddenly felt especially uncomfortable. I'm just a little. Li Fan was about to speak when a black Audi A6 suddenly drove over. The car stopped beside Li Fan and a familiar voice came from the car. Get in. You go back first, I have something to do. Li Fan instructed Lin Yuhsin. Seeing Li Fan's serious expression, Lin Yuhsin didn't say much and turned to leave. Li Fan got into the Audi and saw Zhou Tai sitting next to him. The A6 started slowly. Weren't you arrested? Looks like your information network is pretty good. Zhou Tai laughed bitterly. I was only able to come out after you finished off the Japanese. Aren't you going to thank me? This is only temporary. Zhou Tai's voice was gloomy. I've already been demoted, so I can't protect you now. You're in a vacuum, and there's no one above you to protect you. I'm afraid those gangsters are going to make a move on you. It's okay, I'm prepared. What about X, what should I do? Li Fan asked. This is why I came to find you. Zhou Tai looked at Li Fan. Hand over X, we can't protect it anymore. Hand it over and let the Japanese and Americans develop it together. Li Fan laughed coldly. Do you think I'll agree? Li Fan, don't be silly, it's not yours in the first place. Zhou Tai reminded Li Fan, this is politics, the higher-up sent me here to give you an ultimatum. If you don't hand it over, it won't do you any good. There are so many people on the Li family island, you don't want them to die with you, right? What? The higher-ups want to attack the Li family island. The ownership of this island already belongs to us, do they want to invade? China has never taken the initiative to invade other countries. Zhou Tai said bluntly, however, it doesn't mean that other countries won't. Just let them come. Li Fan did not give in this time. I'm afraid of them. Li Fan was raised by the Japanese. I knew it, you wouldn't agree. Zhou Tai sighed, he glanced at Li Fan, then reached out his hand, this time, let's treat it as a farewell. Alright, we've known each other for a while, we'll still be friends in the future. Li Fan reached out and shook Zhou Tai's hand. Be careful, Zhou Tai mouthed to Li Fan, then let go of his hand. Think about it, don't make things too tense. Got it. Li Fan nodded, then pushed the door open and got out of the car. Wang Jian raised his thumb and middle finger and smiled at Li Fan, causing Li Fan to have goosebumps all over his body. Commander, let's talk nicely. Come, let's talk closer. Wang Jian hooked his hand at Li Fan, and Li Fan's body uncontrollably flew toward him. Small phaseless divine art. Wang Jian had almost trained this martial art to the peak. He used his true qi to drag Li Fan's body and forcefully pulled him in front of him. Such powerful true qi. Li Fan pressed his hands on the ground, and the true qi in his body sank down, forcefully stabilizing his body. Oh. Wang Jian looked at Li Fan with satisfaction. It seems like you're very strong now. I remember the first time I saw you, you could only be slaughtered by others. If not for you, that girl saving you, you would have disappeared from this world. I'm no longer the little newbie from that time. Li Fan reminded Wang Jian, if you want to fight with me, you have to think about it first. You've indeed grown a lot. Wang Jian said coquettishly, the last time you fought with that old fellow Murongbo, you've already shocked others. In such a short period of time, you've grown so much. I'm afraid it won't be long before you become a grandmaster of your generation. You don't have to worry about this. Li Fan raised his true qi. Do you want to fight or do you want to do something? Say it. Naturally, I still want to fight. Wang Jian waved his hand. The higher-ups gave me a task, I have to do it. But I don't want you to die, I might as well cripple you, and then I can take care of you for a few days. Fine, this guy is a big pervert. Li Fan felt that he would not be able to explain it to him. Don't worry, I will be a bit lighter. If it hurts, just endure it and it will be over. With that, Wang Jian suddenly appeared in front of Li Fan and pulled Li Fan with one hand. At such a close distance, the effect of true qi was even stronger. It was as if there was really a hand pulling Li Fan's body, bringing him forward. Humph. Li Fan coldly snorted, his true qi seemed to solidify, falling on his legs, making his body rooted to the ground, like an old tree taking root. Oh. Wang Jian was slightly surprised, he did not expect Li Fan to be able to block his true qi. Not bad, you're quite powerful. Wang Jian said, strengthened his power, and ruthlessly pulled Li Fan with both hands. Behind Wang Jian, a blurry figure suddenly appeared, like a giant, it stretched out its hands towards Li Fan and grabbed him. Wang Jian's true qi could also turn into a physical body, although it was still a bit blurry, the power was solid, grabbing Li Fan's shoulders, it was about to pull him over. Great War God. Great War God also popped out from behind Li Fan, he hugged his arms, the Great War God's palm danced, slapping the giant's face, pushing the giant back. Then, Great War God used Ursa Major Seal, slapping towards Wang Jian. Wang Jian stood there, the giant became more and more clear, it raised its arms, blocking the palm for Wang Jian. True qi spread out, attacking the surroundings. Li Fan took a step back, Wang Jian also took a step back, the two of them re-examined each other. I still underestimated you. Wang Jian said, in that case, I will use 80% of my strength to deal with you. With that, Wang Jian opened his arms, the entire construction site suddenly trembled. Under the control of his true qi, all the stone bricks on the surrounding buildings were pulled out. The entire building that was built on the construction site was completely demolished. All the bricks flew around and spun, forming something like a barrier. This kind of exquisite true chi control technique, even if it was Li Fan, he might not be able to do it so smoothly. His Ruoxue 3000 could split his true chi into 3,000 strands, but these bricks, at least hundreds of thousands to millions. Wang Jian, the Brick Prince. Chapter 948. No, I can't call him the Brick Prince, I should call him the Brick Princess. Being targeted by him, it can be considered bad luck. But on the other hand, to be able to fight with such an expert, Li Fan was still a little excited. What level of expert was Wang Zui? A grandmaster of a generation. He was a genuine grandmaster of a generation, not the slightest bit of exaggeration. Although Abe Yoshio was also one, he used yin-yang techniques, which were different from martial techniques. Wang Zui suddenly made his move. He approached Li Fan, and at the same time, slapped Li Fan with his palm. When Wang Zui attacked, bricks flew over from the surroundings, smashing towards Li Fan's face. Li Fan's great war god waved his palm, using the crane's hand to block Wang Zui's attack, and at the same time, sent the bricks flying. But there were too many bricks, and more bricks flew over, attacking Li Fan from all directions. Soon, Li Fan could not block it, and was slapped in the chest by Wang Zui. This Wang Zui's true chi was very special. The true chi in his palm seemed to carry tens of thousands of silver needles, piercing into Li Fan's chest. Li Fan was slapped back a step, and at the same time, his chest was in excruciating pain. The true chi directly drilled into his body, and quickly began to attack his heart along his meridians. The true chi in Li Fan's body began to counterattack, shattering the true chi that Wang Zui had sent in. Although Wang Zui's true chi was powerful, Li Fan's true chi was not weak either. With Li Fan's body as the battlefield, Wang Zui's true chi was defeated bit by bit, and finally, it was completely destroyed in Li Fan's meridians. This matter seemed to take a long time, but in fact, it happened in an instant. Li Fan dissolved the true chi, suddenly put away the great war god, transformed into the golden armor, and directly slapped forward, slapping towards Wang Zui's cheek. But at this moment, the surrounding bricks seemed to be pulled, and automatically flew over, forming a wall in front of Wang Zui, blocking Li Fan's palm. Bam! The walls were smashed and broken stones flew everywhere, but Wang Zong was safe and sound. More bricks flew over and formed a ball around Li Fan, wrapping him inside. You want to scare me with such insignificant tricks? Li Fan snorted coldly. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the extraordinary sword. With the posture of the saber drawing technique, he quickly unsheathed the sword. Puff! The ball was directly cut in half, but Wang Zong also disappeared from Li Fan's sight. No one knew where he went. Above Li Fan's head, the bricks formed a huge pagoda and smashed down on Li Fan's head. Dragon Spitting Pearl. Li Fan faced the pagoda falling from the sky and released a true chi bomb. When the oval-shaped true chi bullet hit the top of the pagoda, the bottom of the pagoda was directly squashed askew. Next, the entire pagoda began to tear apart. Li Fan took the opportunity to aim at Wang Zong. Holding the sword, he used the sword drawing technique. This sword drawing technique was naturally learned from Abe Haruko's saber drawing technique. Li Fan did not seem to move, but Wang Zong suddenly moved to the side. The front of his chest was cut open, revealing the muscles inside. Oh, so you like this kind of stuff? You should have said so earlier. Said your sister. Li Fan threw the extraordinary sword out. The extraordinary sword flew above Wang Zhang's head. God slaying. A black lightning bolt immediately fell down, striking towards Wang Zong below. Wang Zong piled the bricks on top of his head, forming one shield after another. However, the black lightning bolt continued to split the shield and soon arrived above Wang Zhang's head. Wang Zhang stretched out both of his hands and used his true qi to forcibly control the lightning bolt before sending it to the side. Boom! The black lightning bolt finally struck a tree at the side, directly turning the towering ancient tree into charcoal. God-slaying. Wang Zhang could not help but praise, "I have heard of it. Now that I have seen it with my own eyes, it is indeed powerful. Thank you for your praise." The true qi on Li Fan's body surged. The good guy card in his pocket was constantly trembling, as if it would fly out at any time. "Wang Zhang, the warm-up is over. Let's have a good fight." "All right." Wang Zhang stretched out his hand. The surrounding bricks were all crushed by him, turning into small stones. They flew up and hovered around him like a satellite ring. With a casual hook, some of the gravel immediately flew out, forming a long blade and fell into his hand. My genie guards, in addition to the small phaseless divine exercise, also has the phaseless saber technique. I will let you experience it. With that, Wang Zhang's figure flashed. Almost in an instant, he appeared beside Li Fan. Li Fan was about to make a move, but was pulled by Wang Zhang's true qi, causing him to deviate. At the same time, Wang Zhang's stone blade had already been lifted up, slashing towards Li Fan's neck. Li Fan's right hand immediately flicked out his true qi, forming a wave of qi that impacted on Wang Zhang's stone blade, bouncing it off. But Wang Zhang's body turned around. Unexpectedly, with the power of Li Fan, he made a roundhouse chop and abruptly chopped back. This blade contained his own power. Li Fan did not dare to block it head-on. Activating his true qi field, Li Fan dragged his body and in the blink of an eye, left Wang Zhang's attack range. Ha! Wang Zhang was a little surprised. Your true qi is very ingenious. Is that so? Wang Zhang said. His whole body, like a ghost, suddenly moved in front of Li Fan. Damn, Li Fan wanted to curse. How come he and Imperial concubine Zhou were the same? Both of them instantly learned his true qi field. This group of big shots who played with true qi was really annoying. But Li Fan wanted to let them know that playing with true qi was useless. Both internal and external cultivation was the real way of the king. Li Fan took a deep breath and then touched his good guy card. Activating the good guy card, Li Fan did not intend to be seen through. Once he was seen through, it was very likely that the moment he integrated the good guy card, it would be destroyed by the other party. The trump card's ultimate move must not be seen through by others. In a flash, Li Fan put on a golden armor, and the true qi in his body also rose to a new height. Wang Zhang, with the stone blade in his hand, once again arrived in front of Li Fan. He stretched out his left hand and used his true qi to pull Li Fan. But this time, when his true qi acted on Li Fan's body, he was unable to pull Li Fan. Looking at Li Fan, he took the initiative to step forward. His feet stepped on the bow step and directly hit Wang Zhang's lower abdomen before he could move his blade. Puff! Wang Zhang used his true qi to protect his lower abdomen, but his true qi was directly penetrated, and a wave of qi exploded from his back. Wang Zhang's body was blown away, and in the blink of an eye, he fell down and smashed into the ground, creating a deep pit. Dragon Spitting Pearl. Li Fan faced Wang Zhang, who was in the deep pit, and pushed a true qi ball with both hands into the pit. Boom! The pit was directly detonated, and billowing black smoke rose to the sky. But Li Fan believed that this guy would not die so easily. Chapter 949. Li Fan continued to step on the cloud ladder, rising and falling in the air. At the same time, his hands kept pushing out the dragon spitting pearls. One after another, the pearls flew into the pit and detonated inside. Black smoke kept rising into the sky, rolling up, as if a missile was bombing. Zhou Tai hid in the distance, watching all this, silently lighting a cigarette. Martial fighters were too terrifying. Their existence had already exceeded the control of the country. Is it really okay to just watch like this? The driver sitting in the front couldn't help but ask. I also have no choice. Zhou Tai lowered his head to smoke, his hands slightly trembling. No one can control these martial fighters. Sooner or later, they will become a thorn in the government's eyes, a thorn in the flesh, and will definitely be removed. Zhou Tai's expression became more and more serious. The government will not allow their existence. This time, it is the beginning of the Holy War. The Holy War plan. I didn't expect it to really start. The driver pondered for a moment, and his expression turned solemn. And while they were talking, Li Fan had already stopped the attack of the Qigong ball, landing on a concrete steel bar standing on the ground. The rolling black smoke slowly dispersed. Wang Fan's figure was a little embarrassed, but still stood there. He was combing his hair, as if this hair was more important than anything else. Today, I specially made my hair to see you, and it was almost messed up. Wang Fan tidied his hair while looking at Li Fan. Li Fan, you have become stronger and stronger. Everything is as I expected. A grandmaster, you have already stepped into this realm. But, you have always had a fatal flaw. Wang Fan's words made Li Fan frown. Do you think this is the extent of my power? Li Fan's voice was cold, but Wang Fan smiled. Maybe you are stronger, but in this world, there will always be people stronger than you. Li Fan, you and Imperial Concubine Zhou are two very special people, but it doesn't mean that there are only two of you in this world. In the Genie Guard, that lord, his strength has surpassed everything. That lord, who is he? Li Fan asked. Liao Wuxuang's father. Wang Zai simply said, his existence will become everyone's nightmare. No matter how you struggle, sooner or later, he will rule the world. Sigh, you fanatics. Li Fan stood on the steel bar and looked down at Wang Jing. One moment, Lord Liao, the next moment, cult leader Li. It's endless. You don't understand how powerful that lord is. Wang Jing reminded Li Fan, your fatal weakness will kill you sooner or later. Li Fan, you should let go of everything and come with me. I will make you stronger. You might even be able to rival that lord. Aren't you his loyal dog? You actually want to raise me to be like him. Li Fan was a little surprised. Although that lord is powerful, he doesn't agree with me. Wang Jian stared at Li Fan. Only you, Li Fan. You are the most special person to me. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not gay. As Li Fan spoke, his body appeared in front of Wang Jing. At the same time, he raised his hand and slapped Wang Zheng's chest with a qilin palm. It's useless, you can't win. Before Wang Jing finished speaking, Li Fan's body suddenly turned red and white smoke billowed out. A golden ring condensed behind Li Fan, and his qilin palm firmly imprinted on Wang Zheng's chest. It was as if a real ice and fire qilin roared in the air. Li Fan's left arm completely turned into a qilin's arm. Boom! A streak of frost and a streak of flame burst out from Wang Zhang's back, spinning and rushing out. Wang Zhang's body was blown away in the blink of an eye. Like a cannonball, he was shot 100 meters away and finally crashed into the distant forest. Bang, bang, bang. The trees in the forest were constantly broken. In the end, Wang Jing smashed into the ground, leaving a huge pit there. The surrounding ground was also lifted up, and many trees were uprooted. Seeing this scene, the cigarette in Zhou Tai's hand fell onto his pants. Too terrifying, this kind of existence, the government indeed could not tolerate it. Let's go, Zhou Tai said to the driver. Wang Jing failed. The holy war has completely begun. N. The driver stepped on the accelerator and the car drove towards the city. Li Fan had already dispelled his status. Using his qigong, he came to the top of the forest. This part of the forest was already in a mess, as if a hurricane had passed through. Wang Zheng was lying in a deep pit. This time, his body was covered in blood and his body was motionless. Obviously, his injuries were not light. Wang Zheng, go back and tell that whatever lord, don't provoke me. Otherwise, your current state will be his outcome. He glanced at Wang Zheng again, seeing that you helped me once, I'll spare your dog life. We'll never meet again. With that, Li Fan's figure flashed and quickly disappeared from Wang Zheng's sight. Sigh. What an enemy, Wang Zheng coughed out a mouthful of blood. Lying in the deep pit, he felt that all the bones in his body were a little scattered. It would be difficult for him to climb out of this pit in a short period of time. At this moment, a figure walked to his side and looked down at him. You're here. Wang Zheng looked at this person and coughed twice. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. You failed. The person who came was none other than Yushi. She squatted down and looked at Wang Zheng. Lord thinks so highly of you, but you still failed to bring him back. What? Could it be that if it was you, you would be able to bring him back? Wang Zheng asked bluntly. My mission is to protect him. Yushi looked at Wang Zheng. Your mission is to guide him back. Now that you've failed, Lord will send people to find him again. I think Lord can reconsider. Wang Zheng said, this guy, his strength has already far exceeded our expectations. It's very difficult to control. You don't need to worry about that, Lord has his own plans. Yushi sighed. You're such a disappointment, King. Then just let me die here. You can't die yet. Yushi took out a pill and stuffed it into Wang Zheng's mouth. Your dog life still needs to be used by Lord. I am willing to offer everything to Lord. Wang Zheng muttered to himself. A warm current appeared in his body and started to heal his body. But at this time, his body started to shake. Wang Zheng sensed the change in his body in shock. This is gold immortal goo. Yushi said, Lord has also given this gold immortal goo to you. Gold immortal goo will give you different strength according to your attributes. Feel your new strength well, and then offer your life for his excellency. Could it be, the sacred war has started? Yes. Chapter 950. It's hot over there, bring more dehumidification medicine. Bring more fruits, lest you get thirsty. How about I accompany you there? What will you do if no one takes care of you there? At the airport, Xia Yi and the others came to see him off. Little senior sister kept nagging in the waiting hall, worrying about Li Fan. Don't worry, little senior sister, I'll live in a dormitory there, I'll take care of myself. Li Fan comforted Xia Yi. You can also rent a house and live together. I've read the rules and regulations, freshmen can't live outside. Li Fan hurriedly said, don't worry, I'm already a grown-up, how can I not take care of myself? Then will you come back on the 11th? I don't think so, on the 11th, we just finished military training a few days ago. I'll have 2 days off, I should familiarize myself with the surroundings. Li Fan continued to coax little senior sister, stay here and help me take care of the escort agency. When I settle down there, I'll come back to see you often. At that time, I might need little senior sister to help me take care of the martial arts school. Don't worry about the escort agency, I received news from Old Guan a few days ago, he'll be back soon. Yan Kai patted Li Fan's shoulder, don't forget that your home is here. Of course I won't forget, look at you guys, it's like I'm going to roam the world. Li Fan laughed out loud. I'm just going to go to university. Which student doesn't want to go to university? Got it, I won't nag you anymore, lest you get upset. Take care of yourself on the way, contact us if you need anything. I got it. Li Fan nodded, then subconsciously looked around. Then I'll go first, you guys stay, we'll meet again during the winter break. Li Fan was a little disappointed. He waved his hand and left. Is Lin Yuhsn still not here? After Li Fan left, Xia Yi turned around and asked in a low voice. No. I don't think she would dare to come. Yang Shueiyue sighed softly. It must be very sad. I understand the pain of having to leave. And let's not talk about this anymore. Tell me, when is a suitable time for me to visit little junior brother? Yang Shueiyue looked at Xia Yan speechlessly. Why don't you put him in your pocket? Sigh, it might work. I'll ask by Lin Luo if there's such a superpower. Or, it could be any door. We can open one between our agency and Li Fan's dormitory. That way, he can come back as soon as he pushes the door open. If there's such a thing, didn't our escort agency already use it on Li Jiadao? That's true, Yang Shueiyue was about to give in to Xia Yi. This woman might not be able to survive without Li Fan. Just as she was about to say a few more words, she suddenly turned her head, as if she had seen someone. Yang Shueiyue rubbed her eyes, but the figure had already disappeared. Was he seeing things? Yang Shueiyue shook her head, turned around, and left the airport with Xia Yan and the others. In the corner of the airport, Murong Ying, wearing a black cheongsam, stood there without saying a word. She silently watched Li Fan's figure disappear at the passage, and then she left. City G. I'm coming. Li Fan was still a little excited. After boarding the plane, he couldn't calm down. Everyone was full of expectations for their university, especially Li Fan, who had been tired of his high school life. Moreover, he was going to open his own martial arts club in City G. It was full of challenges, and he was looking forward to it. Miss, please make way. This is my seat. After boarding the plane, Li Fan found that his seat was already occupied by someone. The girl was wearing sunglasses and a blue cap. Her hair was tied into a ponytail. She was looking down at the iPad and didn't pay attention to Li Fan at all. Miss? Li Fan slightly lost his patience. Was she pretending to be deaf? Although Li Fan was a little stingy and didn't want to spend money, Xia Yan still booked a first-class cabin for him. In Xia Yan's words, as a golden escort of Fictional Escort Agency, how could he take the economy class on this trip? Li Fan was more or less extravagant, but he didn't expect that he would encounter a special situation in the first-class cabin. Sir, what's wrong? The first-class stewardess was generally more beautiful. Seeing the situation, she hurried to ask. My seat is occupied. Li Fan pointed at his ticket, and then at the seat mark above his head. Miss, could you please make way? You're sitting in the wrong seat. The stewardess said to the girl. The girl seemed to be a little impatient, and she shouted. Jessica! Hearing this shout, a woman in her 30s hurried over, holding her luggage. My lady, what's wrong? I'm putting down my luggage. It's too much, Jessica, what happened to the charter flight? Why is there someone else here? The girl questioned the woman called Jessica in fluent English. What's going on? Is the company making fun of me again? I'm telling you, Jessica, my contract is about to expire. If this goes on, we can forget about renewing it. I'll help you solve it, Jessica said to Li Fan while wiping her sweat. Sir, I'm sorry. How about this, I'll pay for your ticket. Could you please take the business class seat at the back? My lady doesn't like to be disturbed. She doesn't like to be disturbed, so she'll take the private jet. Li Fan was annoyed. Although this girl was speaking in English, his English was passable, and he understood most of it. My seat is mine, no one else has the right to sit in it. Tell this idiot that I can sit wherever I want. The girl looked at the iPad while telling Jessica in English. Jessica was stunned. Then, she put on a smile and said to Li Fan, I'm sorry, she's not feeling well, so, get lost now. This is my seat. Li Fan no longer paid attention to Jessica. Instead, he turned his head and shouted at the girl in English. Motherfucker, in City A, I can almost do whatever I want. How could I meet such a person on a plane? What a bad start. Li Fan really wanted to curse at this moment. If the other party wasn't a woman, he would have thrown her out long ago. The girl finally raised her head and looked at Li Fan. What can you do? Hit me. She was still speaking in English, and said to Li Fan rudely, a man like you is actually making things difficult for a girl. You're really shameless. Oh my fuck, she's even making a false accusation. Li Fan was so angry that his nose almost became crooked. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.